Welcome, everybody, to a nice Friday night Pokemon card chat. We've got some really fun people here. One that has come out of obscurity here for the last few months, which I'm really excited to have a part of this. A lot of familiar faces we've got. We've got PK tonight, Mr. Mason Cardinal Gaming, and Mr. Jake Pokenomics. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it.
A lot of fun stuff to talk about. This has been a crazy last couple of weeks and just the general card hobby. So, I'm sure chat can guess a couple of things that we're talking about, but really tonight I wanted to touch on, of course, the elephant in the room, right? CGC, everybody's talking about it right now. I found a lot of people doing individual videos about CGC. So I'm really excited to kind of hear everybody's take together and us just kind of have a really good discussion on, pros and cons, maybe pros, I don't know, all con, who knows. I want to talk a little bit about Pokemon 151. If anybody doesn't follow Mason, Mr. Cardinal Gaming, he put out a really, really great video within the last week about all the product lines in English, kind of his concerns about, what they're doing, how it's different than some of the other special releases. So I'm really excited to kind of hear what, his take is on that. And then we'll talk a little bit about Lord of the Rings. I know everybody's kind of, now said, oh yeah, there's this other TCG called Magic the Gathering, because they have really revitalized their brand presence with this set. I mean, it's just going crazy right now. So really just talking about kind of what that means for any other TCGs. Obviously people are paying attention. I mean, they are, I can't even imagine the numbers on the pre-orders that they've had for that. But really that's going to be what we're going to talk about, guys. So chat, thank you guys so much for hopping in. I guess I want to start before we get to CGC, because I feel like we could probably go 4 hours just on that conversation alone. Let's talk Pokemon 151. Mason, I kind of want to hear from you first, talking about, I know you just made a video on it, you're talking about it. One thing that you brought up was being kind of different than some of the other specialty sets. I guess maybe give us kind of your take on that. What are you seeing that's different in this one versus, say Celebrations or something similar?
Yeah, I mean, the long and the short of it is that, for the most part, typically with the specialty sets, we see some sort of pack premium because there's not booster boxes, or they're like products where there's just booster packs in them. With 151, we're going to be getting booster bundles, which is nice little 6-pack boxes that are actually pretty popular for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that, even with the regular sets, we see that a lot, but never in a specialty set. So, and there's not a markup on these booster bundles either. You think they'd be, if they wanted to be a little bit more premium for a specialty set, they'd be, maybe $30 or $31.99 or something crazy like that. They're not. They are just standard $4.50 a pack, just standard regular pricing. Kind of weird for a specialty set. That's very odd that there's not any sort of premium. You think of like Crown Zenith on those packs. I mean, I'm busting down products and getting $7 a pack for those right now, even this late in the game. So for that to be still the case, and then for this set, there's not going to be that. It's just going to be normal pack pricing. It's kind of weird, very weird. I don't know what to make of it. Don't know why they went that route, because we know this is going to be a popular set. So I don't know. It's weird. That's like the standout point that I had.
Well, especially you doing like the pack, price per pack breakdown was something that kind of got me thinking. I'm like, does that mean that they're just, hey, short print run, whatever, we're just going to put this out, keep it at, I guess lower than what the normal pricing has been recently? Or, hey, we are going to print so much of this, like we're going to recoup that margin just from the sheer volume of sales. So I was kind of going back and forth. I'm like, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? I really don't know at this point. I mean, ultimately, I think we all want to be able to have access to product and be able to buy stuff easily. But, again, the Charizard UPC, prime example, right? A product sits forever. People hate it. They don't buy it. The promos tank. I mean, obviously, we all want to at least keep what we spent on the product, keep it at MSRP. But I'm curious, Jake, which, by the way, again, so thankful that you came on, man. I know you've been a crazy busy guy, but I don't think I've heard you talk about kind of 151 outside of maybe some Discord chats and stuff like that. You excited for the set? I mean, I don't know if you got a chance to watch Mason's video, but what are your initial thoughts on it, I guess, seeing how the Japanese set is doing?
I don't have any strong thoughts on it. With new stuff, I don't have any insider knowledge. I'm not getting a lot of the product. I'm not one of the first ones who owns it or is able to get it at particularly good prices. So like for me, I generally just kind of watch to see how the market reacts. I listen to the conversations. I like listen to people like Mason and other people and kind of take in information for a few months before I figure out sort of what's happening, what's the feeling. Obviously like there's, from a market perspective, there's sort of the popularity side of like, are people enjoying it? Are people liking it? What are the pull rates? That news kind of starts to come out, which really impacts the market. And then the other side is just the supply of like how much seems to be printed. And, usually you can get some sense initially, is the price starting to trickle up on this? Is the price kind of staying the same? Or do you have a Charizard UPC situation where it was kind of super hot and now there's just like a ton of the product? Maybe people are moving on to something else. Maybe there's something people don't like about it. There's maybe the pull rates are easier than they expected, or there wasn't as much interest in the 151 Pokemon as maybe some, people might expect. So I just kind of watch to see what's going to happen. Like, as a collector and as someone who likes the 151, like it's a fun set.
Did anybody else lose audio on Jake, or is that just me?
Yeah, he froze on my end.
Okay. So Jake, I agree. I also go speechless when looking at the art. I think that's where you were going with all of that. But we'll give him a minute to come back here. But yeah, to kind of there you are. I think you're unfrozen.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you're perfect now.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know where I cut off, but I was just going to say, like, from a collector's perspective, like, I like 151 a lot. So, the 151 Pokemon, and that was my, era as a kid. So, yeah, I couldn't help myself and looked at a lot of the arts early, and there are a number of them that I like. I'm not sure anything like crazy caught my eye. Like, that's a card I like absolutely want to rush out and get. My attitude about this stuff is like, this is a great product. Pokemon's going to make a lot more great products in the future. I'm just kind of like not in a rush. There's a lot of stuff I collect, but I think it's cool. Hopefully people really, enjoy it. And I don't know, if you guys have more of a sense of kind of how much people are enjoying it so far and, enjoying the Japanese side, obviously of the product.
PK, I'll let you kind of talk your opinions on it. I think you've made a video on this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I made a video talking about 151, and I'll mention it on lives here or there, but pretty much I keep trying to find something I don't like about the set, and what I keep, like, every time I think about what can be worst case scenario, I keep going back to it's just going to be printed into oblivion, and it's going to be readily available, not just at release, but months after, 2 years after, and I always get nervous when I say, well, that's worst case scenario, because that's definitely probably not worst case scenario. And in reality, really worst case scenario is the hype for it dies down really quickly. People get burned out by the Japanese sets before the English even comes out. And when they start to open it, they lose that pack opening experience. And then something after 151 takes up that hype. Very similar, we got Obsidian Flames coming out, and it's already more or less like pulled all this hype from Scarlet and Violet base from Paldea Evolve. Like, that hype was pulled away by Obsidian Flames. And we've been talking about 151 before the set was even released. What happens if Pokemon releases another 151 caliper type set, like, immediately? Because we don't know what's after 151. Like, and just when there's always so many what ifs, and it's become a meme in this hobby that the next set is always the best set Pokemon's ever made. And I'm just so overly, like, bullish on 151. I keep looking for why is it going to do bad, because I'm telling you right now, like, I think it's like potentially one of the best sets Pokemon's ever made. Like, I'm gonna love to open it. I know the pack opening experience for at least my generation and your guys' generation is gonna be fantastic. To relive those original 151 and then to do the spoilers when you look at like the Abra card. I had Matt Pokemon Classics on. He was talking about that Abra card, about how it's like tied into that original base set artwork.
Yeah, the original art's so cool.
Yeah, and that's just gonna be awesome. And then what are your chases? Your chases are the big three. You got Blastoise, Charizard, Venusaur all in one set. Like, what was like people's big argument against Evolutions? Evolutions was a reprint of base set, but they didn't give you the Blastoise. You didn't have it. They didn't give you the Venusaur. You didn't have it. And that was always like why people said, oh, we were robbed in evolutions. We didn't get these. And when you look at all these like good performing sets recently, Celebrations, big nostalgic tide, but it only had those big three. Some of the like you call them mid-gen cards, like they brought back level X's. They brought back prime cards. Yeah, they brought back the gold star with the promo, but do people really love those? So I always struggle with how many people in this hobby truly cared about like the Claydol. Why was that important? Because of the playability. Like the Cleffa from Neo Genesis. How many people were really playing during Neo Genesis? If you weren't playing during Neo Genesis, there's no love for that card. And that's still potentially one of the best sets ever. And I just named cards that people might not truly love. But 151, I just feel has all the makings for something great. And that's why I'm more nervous about 151 than any other set because of all those makings it has.
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, it is very rare for me to see any sort of modern set at all and feel like genuine excitement or even look at the art. And Jake, I know you said there wasn't really anything that kind of stood out to you specifically. On my end, I think we are living literally in the golden age of Pokemon art. I mean, the arts on some of these 151 cards are just absolutely fantastic. Like, I can't get over how good some of them look. The Mew is personally, like, I know it's a promo in English. I did just pick this guy up. So that Mew art, the Japanese, gorgeous card, I think. I think this is probably one of the best examples that really got me into really looking at the set, seriously and actually, not even necessarily making a play, but wanting to open it. Mainly because that's such a good example of combining kind of modern card art and vintage card art, I guess. And especially, again, like you said, being the 151 and being kind of what we all grew up with and opening, it's almost like a refreshing new take on all of that. And that's really what excites me the most about this is I know that I haven't really, I don't know pull rates. I don't track that stuff too hard, at least on the Japanese side or even some of the more recent, English modern sets. But just really the art by itself, it just looks really, really fun to open. I thought back to when I opened Celebrations and got to, pull all of these old school card arts that I, did way, way back in the day. This is a home run set, in my opinion. Now, PK, I'm right there with you. It's like, am I nervous about them printing it into oblivion? Absolutely, because I know that I'll still be buying into it. Whatever. I'm going to pre-order whatever I need to. I'm going to open whatever I want to. I would love for them to not treat it as a, we're going to have 17 waves of this and literally it's going to be sitting on shelves. I mean, if they do, great. People can master set and do all of that. But I would like some sort of, not limitedness to it, but not necessarily overprint it. Just release it like Celebrations, call it a day, and then hey, this is the last time. Or I remember you talking about the message that I think it was Pokemon Center. Hey, if you love Celebrations, this is like you're going to want to order this. Like I would love to see them replicate that.
Where you could find that danger is if it's like a Generations S type reprint. Like the problem with Generations was there was a lot of hype behind it. You had that beautiful Radiant collection that was part of that. There's a lot of like beautiful cards in that set, but the problem is the way that those releases were so staggered. They were staggered out through the course of a year, and there are so many products. By the time that very last mythical collection was released, nobody wanted Generations because the hype had moved on from Generations for a long time, and Generations sat on the shelves for years. Now, and one of the things I talk about on my channel, and the things I repeat a lot is in 2020, if you ever made a poor decision in Pokemon, like you were completely redeemed. There was no such thing as a bad decision pre-2020, and you really would have to stretch to do that. So if you were picking up any of this generation stuff, pre-2020, 2019, you sat on that stuff for a very, very long time. And in fact, there was a huge period of time with Generations, which now people look back on Generations and go, this is a great set. Look at how much packs are selling for. There was a long period of time where you were negative on every single one of those products. Mm-hmm. So, perspective is everything. And like, I guess that's my concern. But like the big caveat to that is where is demand today versus demand then? And how many people are buying product today versus then? So I keep going back to 151 too. And I do feel in a way like 151 would have probably made like a better just main expansion. And I think it's almost in a weird way, like too good to be just like a specialty set in a way, because specialty sets should inherently not be big. They should be small. They should be something you can complete opening ETBs.
What was Celebrations? What was the card count on that one? Because I think 151 is 160.
So Celebrations was 25 cards in the main set and 25 in the specialty, not including like the promos that came in the tins or stuff like that.
Okay, so it's like over three times as large then. That is interesting. Yeah. And I'm curious too, one thing you kind of brought up is, kind of just the inherent value of what it looks like long term. And this is me maybe not paying as much attention as I probably should to kind of how the Japanese market has absolutely exploded. But I've seen a lot of people talking about like the Japanese boxes of 151 are selling 3x MSRP right now. And Mason, I'm actually curious on your end as well, since obviously, you're a multiple store owner here. Is there any sort of connection with here's what a Japanese price is, here's kind of what we can maybe somewhat forecast on the English side? Is it always going to be less than what Japanese is in our current market? What are you seeing right now, I guess, when you see Japanese and you're releasing English releases? I'm assuming that you probably looked at kind of what those prices are doing compared to what English is doing.
Yeah, for sure. For the most part, in the past, in the before times, before things went
way
crazy,
back when 3 years ago,
it didn't have any bearing on what I did or what I thought a set was going to be like. Nowadays, it definitely is a great barometer of seeing what general interest is, and with it being so expensive, if people in the U.S. are ordering this stuff, even at the price point that it is, and still want to buy at whatever price it is as much as they can, don't care, give me a case, that definitely gives you an idea of what demand is going to be like for sure. So, yeah, the crazy demand for a Japanese product, the product in Japan, definitely helps me have a gauge of what I'm looking at when it comes to the English set for sure.
I'm assuming you're pretty excited then, because I know that it's been doing like extremely well. Even the Mew, I just showed the SAR, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
I bought it at $175, maybe, I don't know, 5 days ago. I think the cheapest I've seen on eBay for that card is like $205 now. I'm just seeing like an upward trajectory, and I really don't dabble a whole lot in modern cards, especially when they just released. But that's one of the things that I just find amazing about the Japanese market right now, and waifus aside, but in general, like the Japanese market, it seems like the prices are just astronomical compared to the English variants now. And I remember, unless I'm just completely mistaken, like 3 or 4 years ago, it was almost like the complete opposite. Like Japanese was cheap, English was really what the chase was. Am I wrong on that? Is that something that we've seen change and kind of fluctuate, or is this kind of a new thing that we're starting to see?
From my perspective, yes. As somebody that has a more casual, buyer pool, and people that nobody even knew what the sets were in Japan, and it wasn't until maybe around, again, pre or post boom that people started even caring about what was going on as far as the Japanese stuff. And I don't normally carry Japanese products. I did carry some Japanese of Eevee Heroes when that came out. I had some of that stuff, and yeah, people of course bought the heck out of that stuff. So we've just seen a huge shift with grading, with Japanese products, just the demand for all that stuff from even a casual consumer. They're much more aware and much more after that kind of stuff, for sure.
Well, the ultra modern singles for Japanese, and then the speed at which the booster boxes go up in value has dramatically shifted and changed.
Yeah.
But when we look back at PokeKnowledge and CP6 and these types of and Shiny GX, like these sets went up way more in value, like the sealed product, than the English ever did. On a percentage basis from where they were. And then people speculate, well, that's because they just printed way less of the Japanese version. Everything is supply and demand. So we don't know if there's just more demand for something or just a lot less supply, why sort of the prices are what they are. The one thing I would add to the conversation is a little bit of a different perspective and a bit of a downer perspective. But, I guess for me, like if I'm being totally honest, like I don't understand how people can connect to arts that they've just seen in the same way that they connect to like the original vintage arts. And I worry that like there's going to be so much continued good art and and things that people connect to, and people's subjective tastes on art shifts and changes all the time. Like people in the chat saying like now is the time of like the golden age of era of art in the hobby. Like in 10 years there'll be, if the hobby is going, there'll be a golden era. There was a golden era in 1996 with these amazing characters and designs that captured a generation. So I just want to push people to maybe think, to slow themselves down a bit and be like, how much do you really feel connected to this? How much do you really like these? How much staying power do you really think these will have to you and other people? Rather than this sort of hype train of like every set's the greatest set of all time. That doesn't mean that some cards shouldn't have value and that there won't be enough people into these things that cards from every era will have like some decent value. I just think it's interesting. I sort of like, I guess I don't believe it when people tell me things a lot of the time about like, this is my favorite card ever now, or like, this is, because it's almost like it's a little hard for me to wrap my head around like, and I just might be a different type in the market, right? But there's good historical examples of this from other hobbies that I often quote and talk about how it shifts and changes. So I think it's like super cool to be like, I would never want someone to not be like genuinely excited about what they like. This is not a like, don't love what you love and don't be excited. It's more of a like talking to you investors out there and you speculators out there, maybe to not get a little crazy about like, comparing, who knows how these things are going to age, over a long period of time. And when you buy into things when they're very popular and people are saying how great things are, that doesn't often work out very well in the long run. Generally, collectibles that are value happen the exact opposite way, right? People don't like them that much. They're really low printed. And then over time, people come to appreciate them. So it's kind of a golden rule of long-term value in things, particularly if that item doesn't have anything about it that can't be reproduced. Like, why can't they reproduce another 151 set in 5 years? Why this one, why this 151 set versus evolutions versus base sets, how many versus celebrations, how many, and this is just a value comment, right? And pushing people, and part of my answer initially is sort of like I'm not in a rush to get any of this because none of these cards matter to me very much, even if I like the arts. And that might be different for other people. And I don't mean to, be negative on people's enjoyment, but it's sort of like the good news is like Pokemon's going to keep making amazing sets and amazing art. So maybe just be, if there's one card, like I think that Mew's sick too. And I love Mew, like, it's like, and you have the money, it's like, go for it. Right. But like, do I have the same connection to that Mew card than I do, like, for me personally, the Expedition Mew? No, but like for the Expedition Mew, most people never even collected in that era, so it's not even a good example.
Right.
I think sometimes cards from that era and cards from the middle era can be overvalued because people are like, oh, they're super rare, but they may not necessarily even have that much of connection to it compared to maybe a Wizards of the Coast card, right? So, or earlier Wizards of the Coast. So I just, as this hobby ages, like starting to think about what do you really like? What really matters to you? Because guys, you have so many things that you could collect in this hobby and you will into the future. You don't need to gotta catch them all, all the time, I guess it's not really a pro business perspective. It's not what's going to, help the people who are flipping and reselling these things all the time and always want the hype to be at a 10, but it's honestly how I feel. So.
No, I completely agree with you. I think that, yes, with this particular set, and not to put it on some pedestal or anything like that, but I've looked at the cards for most of the recent sets that have come out, and just from somebody who is almost exclusively vintage, that's about the only cards I buy. This is the only one that has really stood out to me, to the fact I'm like, this feels different, it looks different. Even PK mentioned it earlier, it's kind of an extension of the original arts, or Matt from Pokemon Classics, which everybody should sub to that guy, by the way. Yeah, just having the extension and kind of almost like keeping the lore alive, but also with the new artist, making their take on that, I guess, or putting out their own version of that. I find that extremely unique and very, very cool. Kind of similar to what you said, hey, there wasn't really anything that stood out to me. That's how I felt about the overwhelming majority of modern Pokemon. I'm just like, okay, this is a new Pokemon card. I can tell it's new art. They've used new technology. Okay, it looks cool, whatever. This one is one where I actually was stopping on like commons, uncommons, like non-hollows. Like I was actually like, wow, like I'm actually taking in the whole environment and the scene that they're painting versus just like, hey, here's the Pokemon. But I agree with you. I think that people looking at it as, hey, what art is really being built up right now? I need to go and spend $300, $400 on a ultra modern card that hasn't even released in English. I don't believe that that's probably a good way to go about it. I think that the set will absolutely have enough available for people to be able to buy. And Mason, I think you mentioned in your video going over kind of the different products. Was it the collector's boosters? I think you said were kind of best value, that $4.50 a pack for people who just want to rip it.
No, the bundles. The
bundles. Yeah.
6-pack bundles. Yes.
That's right. Yeah. So I think, especially focusing on products like that, if you just want to open the set and actually, whether you're going for a chase or just general arts, I think there's going to be enough of that around that we'll be able to actually all open that. And that's what my plan is, even after watching Mason's videos. Like, okay, I just want cheap packs to open because, obviously I've got ATBs that I'll probably fund my openings with, but realistically, being able to buy kind of the cheapest pack price just to enjoy the set and actually open it and see the different arts is what I'm most excited about. And just coming from a almost exclusively, again, vintage collector, that's very rare for me to see a modern set that's coming out. And I'm like, I can't wait to rip these packs. I can't say I felt like that since Celebration. So that's kind of what it is on my, mentality is just, it just seems very different than what I've seen Pokemon do with just modern sets in general.
Yeah, and so like I am a modern collector of Pokemon. I own a ton of modern, so I just think it's important to like you can enjoy the modern art and think it's really great while also having the attitude of like, these cards don't mean as much to me as the ones I had when I was a kid or really grew up with or have this type of like age or connection. Now, there might be a lot of people collecting today who don't have any connection to Wizards of the Coast or to Middle Era stuff, and they might be more connected to the cards we have today. I don't know, right? Like that could absolutely happen. And with what Ray said here and what you say, Peek, and other people, it's like I could just be the odd man out, which is totally fine. It's just my subjective opinion. When I look at these cards and I look at these arts, and I felt this way about most sets, I like them, but I tend to not be in lockstep with the prices and with the enthusiasm that other people tend to have. But that doesn't mean that I'm right in the sense of like prices are eventually going to go to what I think. It's just sort of, that's why I don't share it that way. But I don't think it's said that much, and I can't be the only one who's feeling. I doubt I'm the only one who feels that way, if they're being really honest. So
I will say I think a lot of us too have also become almost desensitized to seeing the amount of money that goes into ultra modern Pokemon at this point. I mean, just even with the most recent like waifu sales I've seen, I'm just like, everyone's taking crazy pills, in the Will Ferrell voice. It's like, what is happening? But again, kind of separating. I've tried to kind of almost purposely desensitize myself to that and just say like, well, I need to really like ignore the noise here and kind of focus on what I really enjoy and like. And I think that's really good advice that you're giving, is like, that's kind of what you have to do, because if you listen to the noise, all you're going to hear is positivity primarily, and really just shilling and pumping you up about every single thing that's new. Because if something's new, it automatically is going to be exciting. It's like, oh, wow, this is new. I haven't seen this before. Let's talk about it. And if you watch content for that, months up to, a set releasing, you're pulling the trigger way before then. You're like, all right, I'm pre-ordering, I'm doing all this. And then at that point, you're over leveraged. You've bought into hype. That kind of feels old after a couple of months. And you're like, well, I'm not really as excited because now it's not new anymore. And it's like kind of toting that line of like new and excitement. Like, which one is it that's getting you more pumped about?
And one thing I would add, to that also is that, trying to separate, are you enjoying the chase? Are you enjoying the gamble of the pack opening, the fun of completing the binders, or is it these specific cards that are going to matter for a really long time to you?
Right.
And I think that it's because we all love the dopamine rush of opening cards and trying to pull the chase cards and trying to pull cards that are expensive. Generally speaking, most of us love that. Most of us love building sets and seeing new arts for the first time of Pokemon that we like. But Pokemon's that will always be with every new set forever. Is the idea and sort of the point of that. So I'll keep stop. And again, it's weird to me because like I really like this stuff, and I still feel like I like it way less than most people, which is an interesting sort of feeling that it becomes a sort of like. And I guess I'm surrounded by so many flippers and resellers so much. It's like, are people really no one's collecting? Who's collecting it? It becomes very much of an echo chamber of sort of like everyone's saying it's amazing, but it's amazing to flip and make money. I don't know. It becomes sort of and it honestly, that stuff makes me then like it less and enjoy it less as just a genuine collector and be more sort of kind of turned off from it instinctually. But like that Mew art is like a beautiful art. I love Mew. Like if you show me that card in person, I'm going to look at it for a while and have a genuine like positive, reaction to it, regardless of its value.
I'll have the black label in no time for you to take a look at it.
Yeah.
Sure. So,
Yeah.
So Mason, I saw one of the comments you had in the chat, and PK, I definitely want to let you jump into, but kind of once you get that point out, one thing I do want to focus on, kind of my last little thing I would love for us to touch on is the UPC and 151, because this is, to my knowledge, the first one since the Charizard UPC. But again, I don't follow as much Modern, so if it is, then great. If not, then correct me. But go ahead, PK.
I just real quick wanted to touch on a topic that you and Jake kind of were talking about. One, it's like giving into FOMO, and number two, like enjoying what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Even if you're given to FOMO, like if you're truly enjoying it and you're loving the pack open experience, like do it. But like just today, I gave into like some FOMO on a product that I was watching. What's a Chinese currency? Is it the yen? Yeah. Right?
I don't know.
It's a yen, right? I think that's what it's called. Mason, what's it? Yen?
Yes.
Okay.
I love how you went to.
I saw Mason unmute himself, but
yes.
There's a product I was watching. I knew the release date. It was June 18th. It's a new Marnie collection box, premium collection box, or whatever they have out of China. And it was like, I know the yen price, $618, because like I was researching it. It's like 87 USD. And I was like, okay, comes out June 18th. I'm ready. I'm going to buy it when it comes out. It's going to be at its lowest. The freaking prices are going to go crazy. How much I have to pay for it? $400. It wasn't fun. I feel like maybe I FOMO'd in. I have zero freaking clue what reprints in China could look like. Hell, if I barely know how you could even buy that product if you live there, let alone what the reprint schedule could be like. And I just FOMO'd into an $87 box for $400 5 days after release. 5 days. It doesn't feel good. And like when I was doing that, I was like, this is not even fun for me anymore. So I definitely had
after the purchase did you feel regret? If you felt regret or just the negative feelings with it immediately?
I felt negative feelings because I had to pay so much for a brand new product that that my comfort level for knowledge behind a product like that and like release schedules and possible reprints scared the crap out of me. But what also scared me was the FOMO, that I thought it was a good product. I think prices for that might keep going up, and that I'll end up buying it for way more. It's
and that's the danger, right? It's that, well, I want this product, but I actually don't want it for this price unless it keeps going up.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
But that's where we're at. I mean, and that's a normal part of hobbies, like, becoming more expensive and getting more popular and demand increasing. Like it's a normal thing, but
here's a product. There's a product for you, Jake. I talked about this when you and Dan came on my live. At the time when you guys were on my live, they were selling for $5.99. Today, they're selling for $6.99. You were not on my channel that long ago. Like this shit is scary in a way. And like I'm super happy now, but I can't. What do I do? Like I want to sell some of these, but if I sell some of them, now the price goes up $100 a week. Like,
Yeah.
Well, what a great problem to have too, though, is like I almost don't want to like sell my product, or it's like you're forced. You're like, I was buying this to hold for a while to see it go up, but now I have to sell it 2 weeks later because it's gone up what I expected it to in like 6 months. It's like not a terrible problem to have, but it's very different now.
If you think about it psychologically, though, right? It's sort of like, well, first of all, are there collectors who just want it more than you? If the answer is yes, then it'll keep going up, right? And that the people who want it less, like you guys, but might still like it, are going to sell it to collectors who want it more. If these are collectors who are buying it and willing to pay higher prices, because the reason you would sell it, let's put aside the sort of like, I'm trying to make money and I'm investing, I'm speculating, and let's just go more pure collector conversation. The reason you would sell an item is because, you know what, I like this item, but it's just not worth this much to me anymore. I would never buy it again at this price, is the type of feeling, right? And then the theory is like, well, are there other people out there who are willing to pay at these prices and collect at these prices? And maybe they are because they like it more, or maybe they are because they have a lot more money than me. And so to them, it's a much smaller percentage of their money, And so when we're really thinking about like what a product will do rationally in the long run, taking out sort of the FOMO and the trying to make money and all the flipping stuff that sort of temporarily moves prices in kind of volatile, crazy directions, the long run will be set by people who can afford the items and want to own them and collect them and hold them for an extended period of time. And so when you're trying to figure out like, what do I do with this item? That's what I think about. It's sort of like, first of all, would I even buy this again at this price? One's a good place to start. Like, what do I, as a collector, value this item at? And then two, if I'm trying to speculate or invest in this, maybe I don't value this item anymore, but I think that other people might, and other people might continue, and it might grow. That's always more dangerous when you wouldn't value something but you think other people might, obviously, than if you also think it's great. But that's one way I try to navigate those decisions, because you're not going to be able to time an irrational market. That's the point, is that it's moving irrationally. So all of your thought in trying to figure things out isn't really gonna do much good.
You kind of described me with modern Pokemon in that last statement, buying something expecting other people to like it more than you do, and that's like literally almost all of modern Pokemon that I've bought. But this one I feel a little different about. But so last thing, really, guys, on 151, I want to talk about it. Mason, I want to start with you specifically. Because
oh boy! All right,
I do agree with your top-rated YouTube comment. The UPC for 151. It's got the metal card. It's got the playmat. It's got the Mewtwo promo. It's got the Mew promo. What's wrong with it? Why should we be cautious on this thing? And is that residual cautiousness from the Charizard UPC, or is this just general? Let's pretend no other UPCs have ever been, brought out. You're like, hey, I don't know about this. Like, I don't think this is a good move.
Are you talking like from I want to open this perspective, or
let's say open it? I know you had talked in your video. It was like value. Why?
The answer is
value in the box.
It's a bad product regardless. But I just want to see how you want me to answer this.
I want you to fully Mason Uncensored, whatever way that you want. I mean, if you want to talk contents of the product from a value perspective, monetarily, or if you want to talk about just, hey, this isn't exciting in my opinion at all. I think there's better value in these other products, or I don't think that any of this is really like scratching the itch here for me. Like, just however you want to touch on it.
I think the idea of a UPC for a regularly priced set is just a bad idea. It is absolutely the worst value for your money. If you want the promos, they could have stuck those in a stupid 4-pack collection box, but you just have to pay that now 4 times over, and then you get a playmat and dice with it. I just think it's bad value. It's just the value's not there. It's like $70 in packs, and then the rest of this junk is another $50. And that's if MSRP for the packs. It's just value-wise, it's not there. And there's 2 scenarios: either they're going to print it all to hell, and all the promos and all the junk is going to be worthless, and it's just going to destroy the product, just like the Charizard UPC is right now. Or it's going to be truly limited. The promos are going to be dumb expensive because all those cards are things that the Mewtwo and the Mew are both cards that are definitely chases for this set.
And I will
And
agree
they're
with you.
locked in
I
a
hate to
box.
cut you off on this, but like I do agree with your comment earlier in the chat. I'm kind of annoyed that we weren't able to like pull those as chases and they made those
Same.
promos.
Yeah.
I wish they would have gone with something different, or at least on an alt art version or something in the UPC itself.
Yeah. Either it's going to be dumb expensive, or that's very limited, which I don't. This is a less likely scenario, and those promos are going to be dumb expensive on the secondary market, and people are going to open them anyways, and then it's just going to be a runaway train for that stuff. So either way, it's a bad scenario and a bad idea for just to have a product like this and this type of set if there's no premium on the packs. And I, like I said, I don't think the value's there. I don't like it as a hold. I don't like it as something to open. If you're not going to open it, like you're buying it to hold, and I think it's going to be an even worse Zard UPC because at least that's a Charizard and there's evolving skies in it. This is just going to be packs that are going to be floating everywhere and very cheap.
That might be the
That's my
spiciest take
thoughts.
I've heard. This is going to be worse
That's my
than the
thoughts. I mean,
Charizard
let me know.
UPC. That's a Mason rant. I pay to hear. That's
I would
wonderful.
love to be or have some logic thrown at me that changes my mind. I'm open to.
I mean, the only thing I'd push back on it would be two things. One, we don't know the supply.
Sure.
And two, that we see that people are willing to pay high prices for sealed product, even if that sealed product has the exact same content as another sealed product, as long as that sealed product hasn't been printed nearly as much as the other sealed product, the other version of it, i.e. ETBs and booster box, people paying the differences in these types of things. Obviously, ETBs also have some additional stuff in it, but that's not what's really going on. It's that people are ETB collectors versus their booster box, right? So, but that's a very small point. I mean, I think I agree with Mason, and like I would be more like, obviously, because you don't know the amount that's going to be printed, you want to try to pick something that you think people really like. You shouldn't go into it thinking, now ironically, there are a number of sets and ETBs and other products that were not very well liked. They didn't print that much of them, and now are going for a lot more than sets that were very well liked, and tons of them were printed. So you just never know. but yeah, I mean, I agree with Mason, and certainly from like a collector experiential perspective, you want to open up something that's going to be fun or give you something unique or a good like bang for your buck.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like which of the there's only 8 products for this. There's only 8. Which of these 8 would be like a good hold of sealed? I don't like any of them.
Yeah.
Which one thing I'm curious too, like I wonder if, and I'm curious on this too, Mason, like your thought from someone who, obviously you're working with distribution, probably more than the average even person who has distribution since you have, a few stores.
God, I hope so. But yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm curious, like with the, like, do you feel that Pokemon even like, I mean, I'm sure they pay attention, but like, do you think that they would react to how the Charizard UPC was received with the amount of stock that is even to this day probably still sitting on shelves and sitting in stores? Like, can you see like a situation where there's a drastic pullback in that supply, kind of a medium pullback in that supply? Like maybe they try to mirror what they did with the Celebrations UPCs, maybe go a little more than that. I mean, the metal card obviously is going to add a little bit of cost to them. I mean, it kind of more justifies a $120 product in my opinion versus, just the Zard promos. I mean, could you see a situation where that could be more likely the case? Or do you think that they're just like, hey, we're going to print this and we're going to print this number no matter what. And if they buy it, they don't, whatever, the stores already have it. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think they match the Zard UPC, honestly. I mean, if I had to pick one side or the other, I think they are going to print this thing into the ground. Again, there's only 8 products. That is their big moneymaker for the holidays. This is the holiday set. Like it's the big premium product. So I would think they would print the hell out of it. I have no evidence. I have no idea, but that is what I would be betting on.
Mason has spoken, and this is what it is.
Mason, what do you think price points have to do with it, though? Because you see the most like average collector than any of us. We don't really deal with the average person. You do.
Yeah.
Is the average person willing to spend $120 on a new release of a product? Is that a a realistic thing, or are we just kind of more in the minority of people willing to spend that much money on a single product?
I'm looking at it as from like a retail perspective as like that is a nice gift. That is a nice price point for an item when there's not booster boxes for a set. When there's not, something that is kind of on the higher scale. That is the most premium, the ultra premium product. That is what if somebody goes out and be like, I have a relative that really likes Pokemon. What should I get them? Oh, this is the most expensive thing from this newest set. I'm gonna get this. That's my perspective, and I think that's how, especially parents going out and buying cards for kids. That's what they look at. I think. So that's my take on that.
Do you feel parents are spending more money on cards than they had in the past? Like, I guess an example I could give you. I mean, this is very anecdotal because this is my mom and nobody else's. But I'd be lucky if my mom would buy me like 5 packs on a Saturday. At $2.99 a pack, that was $20. That was a huge, huge treat for me, and I was probably a little bit more spoiled than some of my other friends to get 5 packs opposed to like maybe 1 or 2. And I think, and to be honest with you, I think the reason that my mom would buy me maybe a little bit more packs was because we would have to go hunting for Pokemon cards because they were crazy rare in 99. Like, you couldn't walk into your local Toys R Us on any minute of any day. You really had to go there like at certain times. And I was in the Pokemon League on Saturday morning. They always specially held back a couple booster boxes of packs for League on Saturday morning. So I knew when I went there on Saturday morning, there would be packs. So my mom would spend like $20. And that was a lot. Now, where do you find parents nowadays? Do you feel parents are spending way more on Pokemon cards for their kids? Because a booster box would be a 0% chance.
Nobody was buying booster boxes for their kids. So like Jungle. Yeah.
We didn't even see booster boxes in the store. Exactly. It was just pulling the packs out. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that has just been the change in habits of purchasing. If you're not buying loose packs, you're buying booster boxes. I mean, that's just.
So parents are buying booster boxes for their kids. You see that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder too, though, if they kind of get it now, because even your casual person knows, like, oh, Pokemon cards, those are expensive, or those have blown up. Like, people have heard enough about it that it's kind of like, it's like a lottery ticket almost. It's like, oh, okay, well, if he pulls a really rare one, then like, I don't know, is there more inherent value? Because I mean, I think back to like our parents, they were just like, oh, they're playing with like Pokemon stuff. Like, I don't know what this stuff is, like, whatever. Drop the kids off. They're gone for 2 hours at Pokemon League because I was a Toys R Us kid, like, as well. Like, I'm curious if it's just more the education level of the parents now that they kind of get it, that it's collectible and that it's like there's that high demand.
Are Pokemon cards that much more expensive? Like, I just said my mom was spending $2.99 a pack, and before the real recent MSRP price increase, they were $3.99 a pack. I mean, that's $1 more after 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I don't know if it was really a question of like people maybe it was just it has like a nice price point too, because one of the things I talk about a lot is the barrier to entry for modern Pokemon is very, very low, because you can still pick up $3.99 packs if you're lucky and your grocery store hasn't increased MSRP yet. Like a $3.99 entry point for the average person is still pretty enticing when you think about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love the 3-pack of 151 with the poster. I think that's an awesome product. I like that.
That's actually one of my favorites, Mason. Yeah,
I think that's a lot better than a pin and a promo. With a 3-pack. I think, but if I was a kid, I think a poster would be sick. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely like it's definitely geared towards casual people. You see it with the binder thing. I like the binder too. I like that product too. It's 4 packs in a binder. It's sets it up for somebody that is just starting collecting. Here's a binder for you to put all your nice cards in. Here's start your collection and filling out the binder. I think that's a cool product. A lot of like beginner friendly stuff in 151, which is definitely nice to see. And then the big premium one is going to be the UPC. And that's just where there's unlike Celebrations, which had premiums on all that stuff. I think there's things on both ends of the spectrum for people that are very serious collecting, and then the super casual, just like, you know, trip to Walmart. I'm gonna buy this 3-pack with a poster and keep my kid happy for the weekend. You know.
Well, it's a good point too with the binder. Is that, you know, it comes with a binder in 4 packs. The binder is going to have more empty slots. So it's like they're going to want more packs. It's almost like, you know, the first time's free. It's like they open it and it's like, well, I still have like 4 pages to fill in this thing. Like, I've got to go back and buy more stuff. I mean, I definitely think that's one of the more genius products, like you said, even for like a beginner collector that wants to get in, or a kid, you know, whose parents buy them something. I mean, what an awesome Christmas gift. It's like you get a cool binder to put these cards that we bought you, and that kid's all he's going to want every time they're at the store now is going to be Pokemon packs, you know, and specifically probably 151. So no, it's a good point. Well, kind of to transition the conversation a little bit from
one
casual
would add, if you don't mind, just to that conversation.
Yeah, go for it.
So I sell quite a bit now, like vending in person. And so I'm selling quite a bit to like parents and their kids. And it's definitely an interesting mix. Like, and again, like, I don't know, I have like, maybe I've made 200 sales. So take that with a huge grain of salt, because it's 200 people in the Northeast in just like my area and community, right? And every like demographic and area is different. But just from that sort of sample size, I would say that half the parents or so, I would say, now this is also at card shows, so they're not just going to like the local store, the Walmart, where it's probably going to be like a lower degree of engagement, let's say. Like this is a little bit more engagement. But a lot of the parents like know what's going on. They're kind of engaged in it. They're a little bit, so to PK's point earlier about how like why they might be buying them more product now, there's a little bit more of a like, this is an investment even. And they even ask me questions about like, well, what's the best set where they can pull the cards that'll like retain the best value, or those types. So I have like those types of parents. And then I have parents who just are sort of like, what's my kid gonna like what's going to be the best bang for his buck, and how's he going to have the most fun. I tend to sell mostly ETBs. I would say most of the parents and the kids end up walking away with like an ETB or two, but there's definitely like the investor, you know, adult parent situation. But again, how many of those people are going to Walmart, you know, versus those people at the card shows versus people at like local game stores, you know, I don't know. But I thought I would just share. There are at least those people at these card shows, and that, which is obviously very different from when we were kids, when there would have been no parents, because this wasn't even a Pokemon was like, what are you doing? This is something that will be a fad and will disappear in a year or two. And now there's sort of a, you know, this isn't a fad, it's a worldwide phenomenon. Everyone knows it and it'll be here forever, you know?
Well, and you've also got, you know, for a lot of people, even retail stores don't have Pokemon products. Like I go to Target with my wife or Walmart, and I somehow end up in the toy section immediately because I want to see like what's there. And it's always empty, like constantly cleared out. And again, like you said, I'm also in a very like small area, you know, where I'm at or whatever. But, you know, the thing is, I think with kids, it's like they watch a lot of YouTube now. There's a lot of content creators talking about, oh, we have Collecticon in Dallas, or we have Collecticon in Denver, or we have it in Charlotte, or whatever it is. And that's kind of the hangout spot to go now. It's like, hey, mom, we can't find Pokemon cards in the store. Like, I really want to go see like Leonhard or Pokerev or like, you know, somebody like that. And that's where they end up. And maybe the parents start paying attention because they're like, well, if I'm going to have to go there. And then they're like, wait, what's this like Moonbreon card? It's worth like $1,000. Like, you know, that could also play into it. It's like, oh, there's valuable stuff here. And I can't remember who it was. It was Pokeneer said like, even our parents like thought like, oh, this money's going down the drain. There's no value in this after they open it. That's definitely different now, because it's almost like even a subtle awareness is like, oh, there could be something in here that like my kid pulls a Moonbreon, like it's no longer his, it's mine. Like maybe that mentality of like, we're going to sell this and maybe add to the allowance a little bit. But no, I think that's a good point, you know, to bring up with the in-person stuff. Cause I've noticed the same thing of parents. Like I'm trying to teach them how to talk about cards and like, you know, buy and sell and all that. It's definitely different than what it was completely when we were kids. But,
hold on. I want to just touch base on what you just said. Like, if you pull your kid a good card, like, this is like a really tricky thing. It's like, do you feel responsible if your kid pulls something really good? You're going to have to be like, listen, you got to sleeve this. You can never touch this. You can never play with this. We're going to send it to PSA. We're going to grade it. Then you're going to get it in a piece of plastic. And then you got to be very careful holding that piece of plastic. Like, is that something we need to do as parents? Because I feel eventually I'm going to get to that point. Luckily, I'm not there yet. But like, do we get to that point, or do we have to be able to like pull ourselves back from who we are on, like maybe up here, and say, you know what, play with your cards, damage your cards, like be a kid, have fun, like go on the schoolyard and trade these cards, and don't let because that's what I'm most afraid of, is my kid going on the schoolyard and coming back and being like, Dad, look, I got all these uncommons and non-hollow rares, and I traded that Charizard you gave me, and then I'll just be like, what did you do?
Learn from our mistakes. If my parents were like, hey,
pull ourselves back and just let our kids be kids.
If my parents were like, hey, don't play with your first edition Shining Gyarados you just pulled, please put it in a sleeve and we will keep it for you until you're older, I would appreciate that. Because I was just as happy playing with like an item finder as I was like a base set Charizard. Like I had no like, and obviously ages are different, right? But I think kids nowadays are a lot like, they're a lot more savvy when it comes to markets, and they just grow up with so much content to learn from. Like, kids that are in the cards now, like they're watching like investing channels. They're watching guys talking about flipping and making money and doing that. So it's almost like the flip and the collect is like almost intertwined for them now, versus with us, it was like, let's throw it in a binder. Hey, check this out. Here's my Blastoise. Can I have your like Parasect? Like we were idiots, there was no value assigned to it monetarily. And now I think it's just very different.
I've made $5,000 trades with like 13, 14-year-olds.
Yeah, okay. No, they are very savvy in the market now, which is insane.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Well, but yeah, like my instinct to that question, PK, obviously would like depend on age and like my kid and personality and all sorts of things. But like, I'd probably explain the situation. I think if we needed the money, I would take that card away from that kid, I would tell you very quickly. Like if it was like really important, like if we're going to talk about LOTR, if my kid pulls the one ring, I'm taking the one ring.
Okay, good.
No, not PK though. PK's like, take it to the playground.
Put it in the washing machine.
Yeah, I can tell you that much. But, $600,000 card, I'd probably be like, hey, this is a $600,000 card. If we take care of it, if we send it to PSA, do you want to do that? Or do you want to like put it in your binder and risk kind of damaging it? Then it won't have the same type of value, but you can kind of keep it in there and enjoy it and then like let them decide. That would be like, that's like what my instinct.
And Jake's like, I'm so glad you said that because I just mailed it off to PSA yesterday. So this would have been a really awkward conversation if you did not say that.
I think one of the things I would do is I would offer it to my kid. I would be like, hey, you pulled this card. We'll grade it. It's worth $500 or $1,000 if it's like a Moonbreon or something. And then I would say to him, do you want to sell this and you could have $1,000 and you can buy $1,000 worth of stuff, or do you want to keep this card? If he told me, Dad, I want to sell it and have $1,000, I would give him 1,000 of my own dollars, take that card, put it away.
Sold. All right.
Until he's 18, 20, 25. And then he's like, you know what, Dad? Because I honestly, and I mean this in my heart of hearts, that I believe my kid will like Pokemon in the future, because I really, really struggle with him not liking it. But when he gets older and he's like 25 or whatever, and maybe has his own YouTube channel, who knows, but he'll say, Dad, you know what? You remember when I pulled that Moonbreon when I was 6, 7 years old and I took $1,000? Man, Dad, I really, really regret that decision. And that will make me so happy as a father, because I know I will have taught him well, that he'll have regretted selling his childhood cards. And then that will be the point where I pull out that card and say, well, guess what? Remember that card you sold? I never sold it. Here it is. This is your Moonbreon that you pulled as a kid. I would love that moment. Is that maybe like reaching a little bit for the stars? Probably. But man, that would be like a big life goal right there.
Or at 25, he's like, Dad, you remember when I pulled that Moonbreon, I sold it for $1,000? I know that you bought it. I've got another Moonbreon here. Yeah. And I'll take $7,000. I think it's going for $9,000 now. And he just knows that he's always got Dad as a buyer. And that's what's instilled. Well, speaking, Jake, to what you kind of referenced there, let's talk about our next piece here. Let's talk about Lord of the Rings.
Let's
talk about the One Ring.
Oh, what's going on? What are we doing?
I can't break it on this thing.
I refuse to speak unless we open that.
Yep, I'm muting up, and unless I see that wrapper come off,
maybe I'll say
you're on
maybe.
your own.
I'll say maybe.
How
Are
much
you,
are they, like
Peek, are you
500?
opening that box though?
Are they like
I
550?
will open that.
Oh, then
Yes.
you got to at least
They're-
open
well,
a
not
couple packs,
550. I think they're like 450. I haven't. Here's the thing, man. Every other day, that thing goes up like 30, 40 bucks. It's kind of
Alright.
insane.
I will buy 1/4 of that box. Should we all own a fourth and open that box right now?
Oh my
If
goodness!
Peek, you send me your PayPal. The money's there. If I could do it.
Wow.
A fourth of the ring.
This is the
Makes
start
no
of your
sense.
collection, Mason. Your first.
And thank God
Boy.
this is live. Somebody record this so when Peek deletes this, I at least have
Legally
something I can show
binding.
the lawyers when Peek says it's not mine.
Yeah, right. No, I was joking in Discord. I was like, if I pull the ring, I will disappear. You people will not be able to
Yes.
find me. I am gone off the face of the earth until you see the pop report populate 1. That's when you know. We might rip it, but let's talk about it first. For anybody who's watching, maybe hasn't followed it, Magic the Gathering, Lord of the Rings set, crazy hype. It's insane because Magic was literally, from me on the outside looking in and actually like just watching it kind of from afar, it looked like it was dying. All I heard was terrible things. Even like the player base and like people were just like shitting on it nonstop. They hated how WotC's handling everything. And then they do this. And as Jake mentioned, these boxes, 400 to 500 is what they are now. And I bought mine, and I'll be completely transparent with it. I bought mine for $350. P Football Pete. Thanks a lot, as usual. A couple of weeks ago, and it's already up over $100 more. I think it just released, technically today, I think is the release date, either today or the 26th, but I think it's today. So there's serialized cards in there. The main one that I guess all 4 of us are sharing, and we're all really stocking our 401ks with, is the 1 of 1 ring. There is a single card, 1 of 1 ring that is in 1 box. So it has not been pulled yet. It's in this box. I don't know if anybody knows, but
yeah, let's start getting the mojo.
definitely.
It's
in here. We're going to see it live. All 39 of you watching, if StreamYard's accurate, you'll be able to see it live. And then, you can tell the story because the video will be deleted. No one will see me again. No, so it's really interesting to see, someone like WotC take this Magic product and now put out something that has really like revitalized interest, like pre-orders in general. Like I was searching through eBay one day and I think it was like a Rudy video I'm sure I've watched because he's been putting out some really entertaining content around this. One thing he's done is he keeps saying, like, he keeps raising the price of a booster box. He's like, Lord of the Rings booster boxes are at 1,000, and he raises it 1,000 every week just to troll people to get him the clickbait. It's just been really interesting watching how much demand from people outside of the Magic community are buying into this. And I don't know if it's, and I'm really curious on all 3 of your opinions on this. Like, I don't know if it's just people chasing the 1 of 1 ring. Obviously, everybody's going to try and take a shot, but they don't go out and buy usually a $400 or $500 box to do that. I feel like that's a small segment. Or if it's just a huge Lord of the Rings fandom that I wasn't aware of. I mean, I know it's always had a big following, but like, people are going crazy over this set right now. So I'm curious, and anybody can jump in and talk about it, but what are your guys' thoughts on the reaction to this? I mean, is this a very short term, once that ring's pulled, this set goes to 0, hypothetically not 0, but whatever, way down? Or do you think this is actually got some legs to kind of keep Magic going and garner more interest in the actual game itself?
Well, I am no expert on the Magic market, but I would imagine like this is very different than normal in the sense that normally playability, really equates to value in these modern sets. And because of these rings, there's going to be probably a lot of this product opened. There's going to be a lot more of all the other potential playable cards. So I wonder what the rest of the set is going to be worth and how that's going to compare to a typical Magic set. Should be weird and kind of interesting. So for a store, as far as like opening this stuff is, they're really not doing it. I talked to some store owners near me about it, and we had a chuckle. I was like, "Are you gonna go for it? Are you gonna rip any of it?" And they were like, "Absolutely not. This is like the worst EV product ever, and all the singles are gonna be worth very, very little." So that was their impression. I love this. I love Lord of the Rings. I think the ring cards, actually, particularly the other ring cards, the 1-of-1 ring, actually, I don't think it's that great looking. The other ring cards are beautiful in my
Soul
opinion.
Ring, I think, is what it is one of the ones I saw that looks like awesome.
Yeah, that one's great. The human, like the out of 900s, like they're just gorgeous, and it's brilliant. It's so great because it's like, as a collector, it's like you're trying to collect, you're trying to get the ring, you're trying to get these rings. It's the greed. I love all of it. And you know, the price is crazy, but as far as like actual, like genuine collector chase, like it's fun. It's not just about trying to make money for me. It's an actual fun product, thing to open, thing to be engaged in as a just like gambler who's not even, it's not even about like, oh, I need to hit that huge payoff or it wasn't worth it. Like the whole concept is very enjoyable for me as a Lord of the Rings fan. So I think Magic knocked it out of the park 100%. I totally get how like players might be like, you know, like what's going on with my game, you know, how is this going to impact like this thing that I like, you know, all these types of things. But for anyone who likes chase and collecting, it's a home run. As far as like what these should be priced, I have no idea. I certainly would not be investing in any of these things at all. I just think it's fun.
Mason, PK, are we one of one or bust?
I'm just going to
what's
go
the thought?
real quick because I really want to hear Mason's opinion on this because he's the only one that actually knows about Magic. Listen, everybody out there, I'm not a Magic expert. I don't pretend to be a Magic expert, but my only take on it is if it does get pulled, I do believe box prices crash pretty quick. I do not think we see what the prices are selling for at now, but
like what price point do you think? What do you think the range is?
What's the MSRP for it?
I mean, the average price that it should be somewhere in the range of like $350.
I guess we're talking the collector's booster. There's other products that you can buy, but that even have a collector booster pack in there. But the collector's
like normally collector boosters would just be like $350.
Yeah, anywhere between like $320 to $350.
Yeah, for me, I think it would be like a $320 product.
If the one of one's
like whatever the lowest at that normal retail is.
Because the other rings do have a considerable amount of value.
Yeah, but I just think that the demand will wane. I think the problem is like you alluded to, that singles. I don't think it's a bad thing for the player base. The player base is going to see more product open than they have seen in potentially their entire lifespan of playing a game. Like single prices are going to be readily available because of how many people are doing the openings and stuff like this. But I just wanted to do it as a meme. I looked on Etsy, the buy a 1-of-1 ring card, and I had like this whole plan in my head. I was like, I'm just going to open it, repack it, put it on a 0 subscriber YouTube channel, and then I was just going to share that video in every single Discord group.
So
throw it in a fake volcano.
I was just going to sit back. I was going to record on like a potato camera, like super bad quality, and I was just going to put it out into the internet and see what happened. But I didn't want to spend $35 for an Etsy fake Magic the Gathering 1-of-1 card.
Well, guy beat you in Brazil, by the way.
So for everybody out there, I have no take.
Posted that like crazy, and people like guess it. They were like, "Well, this is different, and this is different. It hasn't been pulled." And I was like, I shared it because there were people like, "Oh, it's pulled, it's over with." I'm like, no. Like, I would hope that there's some sort of. I'm kind of on the line because I'm like, I wish that they would control it enough to where it's not pulled prior to the actual like release date.
You can't control it at all. You just have to let it out.
They can, not in a good way, not in an ethical way, in my opinion. That's way too much hands-on. I mean, they can't go true random, I don't think, with this, but like making sure there's nothing like I don't know. I don't know how they would do it, but I feel like that would have been so deflating.
If it was ever found out that it wasn't true random, it would be like mayhem.
Now, but how do you make it not true random though?
McDonald's
or how do you make
Monopoly,
it true random?
That's how you do it.
True random?
Like, how do you print that ends up in a box or a pack? How do you, I mean,
it goes into a box at a factory, like, and it goes through enough hands that nobody knows. You know, I don't know. But
so an example would be Rattle showed in some of his videos the big like cardboard sorters. They're like big magazine clips that go into the printing machines. You just have all your magazine clips lined up, somebody puts one in there, and then they just switch them all around till eventually, and then you do it enough times where people are constantly like maybe coming in and out of the rooms, moving those around till eventually nobody knows which magazine has that in. And then they just start loading into the machine till eventually one of those is going to get pre-sorted into a pack, and that's the pack. But you could potentially have magazines with the entire print run. I don't really know, or at least 100,000 packs, and it would be impossible at that point to figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
That would be my guess. I don't know.
All right, Mason, we're all awaiting your thoughts on this.
Yes, Mason.
My thoughts?
Are we opening a third store with the proceeds from Lord of the Rings?
I tell you, it's definitely helping. Yeah,
Well,
for
with
this type
Mason-
of
With
price
Mason's
increase.
1/4 share of the box we're about to open tonight.
Oh, that'll help too. Yeah, that'll
He's
help
gonna
out a lot.
open another store.
Mason's like, I didn't know this live was going to cost me $100. Come on.
No.
But
While
if he
you guys
knows he can go on a really awesome vacation and take the cats and afford to have them have their own place to stay.
And the
I mean,
cats. Damn.
Yeah, why not?
While you guys were talking, I was doing the math of how many of these boxes sold on TSU Player today. 230 is the answer, and this has been up for a week out. In
At what
people's hands,
and what's that average price point that they're selling it?
It is
$230?
down because all of the non pre-release stores can sell them now, so it's kind of down. It's floating between 400 and 440, which is down for the 450 it was pretty much all of last weekend. So, but yeah, this is there's just a lot. It's a lot of boxes moving for anything. For a box of $440 a box, that's a lot of movement. That's a lot of money getting pumped into this. Full disclosure, I paid $280 for these boxes, so that's a pretty hefty little margin there for anybody that has their hands on one and got it from distribution. So yeah, it's nice. It's kind of crazy how Zero cards are, and it's just a cool flavor, right? Like this, even outside of these boxes would not be as expensive as they are, but I think people would still be wanting to collect this stuff. You know, casuals are coming in and buying not collector's boosters so much, but set boosters and draft boosters, and they have like a starter deck that is Magic themed. They have commander decks that are Lord of the Rings themed, so it's all really fun. Just flavor. This set has the best flavor of any Magic set ever made. Just they really cared when they came out with this product, and it shows. Like, and the way that they now do the box toppers and things like that, where they have a location from Lord of the Rings, and then it is basically like another card that's like very playable. That is just the best way of retaining Magic type of mechanics, but also just injecting the flavor of whatever it is into Magic, because you can pretty much print whatever card you want to and just kind of have like an overlay, but it still plays like a classic Magic card. So that's the way to do it. That's like the winning combination of how to do this type of stuff too. So it's kind of crazy. Like, you look on TCG Player, and one of the top selling cards is like the lands, the full art lands that have like the map pieces of like that's like the top selling cards is the lands from this set. So that tells you that people are just crazy about it. They like it, and it's the perfect IP. Like Magic, there's nothing better that Magic could have taken and put in a set than this. It's older. It's like the classic fantasy setting type of thing, and it's like I said, it's an older IP that Magic players that have money are gonna relate to and want to collect and be into. That helps out a ton as well. So
how do allocations work for Magic? Is it similar to Pokemon, where you send your distributor a number that you want, or is it something different?
No, it's it's the same way, pretty much.
How much did you ask for? Did you just make up a number?
I asked for.
He just held down 9 on his keyboard.
Yes. No. I think I asked for, between the 3 distributors that I buy from, I think I asked for 250. I got somewhere in the range of 120. I think after it's all said and done. So,
yeah, because Pokemon DNA asked, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's 250,000 boxes is what they printed of this. I think they actually put out the number, if I'm not mistaken.
If you asked for more, could you have gotten more, do you think? Let's say instead of saying 250 each, you said 1,000. Do you think you would have got a percentage difference?
No. I don't think so.
It still would have been that 125.
Yeah, that's just based on how much Magic I sell. I'm definitely not as big of a seller of Magic stuff for sure. And we actually did open some boxes for the set. We opened set boosters, but we didn't. Not collectors boosters,
Well,
but
not the collectors. Yeah.
right.
Don't
But
the
yeah.
set boosters though? They have a single collector's booster pack in them, right?
They have a box topper in them.
I'm trying to think what am I thinking of? Because something has a single collector's booster. Because I think it was you actually that told me
Yes.
that you thought it wasn't going to be in the collector's booster. You thought it was going to be in the other less expensive product. The one pack has the one ring.
It's going to be in the gift bundles. And those don't come out for another. Those don't come out for another 2 weeks. So yeah, this is plenty of time for us to sell through all of our stuff and make good money, and then it's going to be in a
big brain, Mason. You might be right, because if that's the case,
I think Jake is correct. Any sort of manipulation, if that ever came out, it'd be a wrap. But
it's hard for me though, because it's such a good business move to keep it in the gift bundles, because you sell literally all of your collector's boosters. All your distributors, all your stores make money.
It is literally the last product that comes out.
Yeah.
Yes.
How much are those selling for?
Because this theory is so actually put out there, it's like $200 right now.
And what are those usually sell for?
Actually don't know. 60 or 80 probably. I think.
Yeah, they're sub $100.
Yeah.
Wow.
They only have one. They have one collector booster in them, which is $40 right there. So I mean, it's not $200 worth, but still pretty good.
But so ever since you said that stayed in my head, and actually I was like gung ho. I was like, I'm opening it this weekend. Mason puts that out, and I'm like, oh shit, I should probably wait. I should probably wait and see what happens with this. Because I mean, even the cost I'm at like I said, roughly like $350. I mean, and actually, before I even go into kind of sentences on that, Mason, I'm curious on your same question I asked PK. One ring gets pulled. Do you see the pricing of the collector's booster specifically going drastically down?
10,000%, yes.
What price point do you think they'll hit? You think they'll hit back to MSRP, or do you think
they're gonna go to what I pay for them, or if not lower? Absolutely, yes. It's gonna be bad.
There'll still be so there's still a lot of rarity in it, right?
Definitely.
There's the other cereal, like all the others, which those will never all be pulled because there are way too many of them.
Yes, correct.
And then there's also there's like some of the box toppers are very expensive, right? And then there's also like this
there's
foil pattern or something.
Yes, it's called surge foiling. It actually kind of looks like the Sun and Moon, like oil slick. If you guys think of like that era of like hollow from Sun and Moon, kind of like that, kind of like really like streaky shimmer to them. It's really cool. It's very pronounced if you move it in light. Yet those are like I think 4 times as rare as the regular hollows. So yeah, they're also very, very expensive for a lot of.
Yeah, there's one guy who owns a store. I see him. He's ripping these regularly for customers on YouTube, and I just always watch like mainly his shorts because he just gets to the point and like shows the pulls and stuff. And so he's pulled a couple of rings. I think only one has been serialized. But I haven't seen. I've scoured YouTube to see like what people have pulled so far, because I know Jake, you said that people aren't really opening a lot, but I've seen like a considerable amount of stores. I mean, they'll open like 6 boxes, they'll open like 10 boxes. Like there's a few out there that have like
man. These are just
done it for the cause.
The small
even PokeRev opened up like 6 boxes. It was crazy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And he shared on his Instagram, and I don't know what this means, but it was his best performing video. Couldn't believe it. You know how like on YouTube you can see your best performer? It was 1 out of 10.
Oh wow.
So that was pretty shocking.
I mean, I guess people want to say, I mean, whoever pulls that like is going to be insane. It's like, I could see like Stephen Colbert getting involved in this because he's such a Lord of the Rings nut. Like somebody going on that, like somebody could really
make a name to pull out.
Well, I mean, he's such a Lord of the Rings guy, and like I could see like somebody really like trying to catapult like and get like that sort of exposure to like bring out that buyer, like the $2 million standing offer or whatever for the raw card. Like I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who will just take that, but like I mean, I don't know. I'm curious. Actually, that's kind of I'll say my final question on the Lord of the Rings thing. You pull the ring. Are you selling at $2 million standing offer immediately? Or are you grading and hunting for a buyer? So you buy one box. You're $400 in. What are you doing?
I'll tackle this first. I'm not telling a single person. I'm liquidating every single thing I own and putting it into Magic the Gathering, and then I'm gonna slowly sell off those booster boxes. And then when the very last collector booster box I own sells, will be the day I let everyone know that I own it. Then I will shill that card to the day I die. Grade it.
Damn.
You'd never sell it?
Oh well, once all the booster boxes are sold, it's going onto the market. But I would list it on eBay for $6.9 million.
Damn.
And then I would have best offers on, and then everybody would be like, 6.9 million. I wonder like how much he would really take. And then eventually somebody will come along and give me like a 2.5 or $3 million offer. Or you get somebody stupid enough like Logan Paul that's willing to spend 5 million on an illustrator. Somebody who spend 5 million on an illustrator, somebody could spend 4 million on a 1-of-1 ring. Why not? And by this point, I don't care because I've already made all my money off my collector's boosters because I've remortgaged my house. I sold my collection. I've manipulated that market. Come on, that's easy. This is
so PK extracts all morale out of himself, extracts all financials from the market.
This is
and then capitalizes at the end. I love it.
You know how easy it would be to manipulate that market because think about right now. I don't want to say like if I remortgage my house and liquidated my collection and drained bank accounts, but like let's just say it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it doesn't matter the number. Like let's just say most of it comes from the house or whatever. How much does $500,000+ hit in the market all at once just move a product? $500,000 into one $250,000 product after release, all dumping into a product and buying up all that supply. What does that do to the price? You could swing a market right now with $500,000 and you would jack up prices so freaking high. It would be a super, super easily manipulated market. $500,000 swings 250,000 boxes. It does.
Look, Jake has already tried this with baby shinies, so we already have a proof of concept. And you're right. No, it's true. Jake, I'm curious. What are you doing? You're shaking your head as PK is talking about extracting all money out of Magic for the rest of his time. So,
yeah, I wouldn't be taking that route myself, but
that's the route I'm going.
If I actually pulled the ring, I wouldn't let like the public know at all, but I would contact like Ken Golden and contact some of the biggest kind of money people in the hobby to see if they would match or beat the sort of $2 million offer, basically for their own publicity. Maybe make an episode of it on his show, or some sort of person who wants it for publicity reasons, if there's enough extra value in it for them. And then if not, I would take the $2 million and move on with my life and be quite happy. But
you wouldn't grade.
I'd probably get a week. Definitely not. Zero chance I'm grading that card. Zero chance I'm like letting that card out of my sight, to be completely honest with you.
You got to grade it authentic, Jake. People need to know it's the real one.
Yeah,
you call Beckett, you call PSA, and you go, look, guys, I've got something here. It's either going to be a black label or a 10. What are we doing?
To sell that card raw is there'd be so many people saying the what ifs, and then you'd have the one person come out and make the video and be like, these are all the reasons that Jake's card's fake. Look at this,
It'd be you. You would be making that video.
Yeah, because I've already owned it and I've remortgaged my house. I can't let Jake do this to me.
People wouldn't buy it from me unless it was authenticated, then of course I would authenticate it.
Yeah.
Like if they were like, we're gonna go together, to the headquarters and walk this card through, which is what it would take. I would.
Jake will walk straight into CGC's front door and grade that thing immediately.
No,
perfect, pristine.
Nat Turner would let you grade that card.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want people to ever knew that it was me. I don't want that hassle.
So you would never open a box live, because you'd always have a chance of opening it live.
Well,
so you just wouldn't open one live.
Right. This is my one chance of pulling 1/4 of the ring
of your 25% interest into the ring.
Yeah.
We just all hold a corner of the card, and
What
whoever
do we
lets go
do
first.
though if we all have different strategies and we pull the ring tonight? Because PK is going to want to, But how is he? PK?
Well,
how
his plan gets foiled because
Are you
of
going to
flash.
pay everyone here who saw this like $10,000 to not say anything?
Yeah, but this is a problem. Like Peek just has to like delist the video, and then the 50 people watching this, we just plausible deniability. Be
Email
like, yeah,
out
that never happened.
NDAs to everybody and just like make sure everybody gets a share in this. I can do the whatever Logan Paul's like.
Listen, I've set up my track record, Jake. Earlier this live, I told everybody I was going to buy a proxy and open it live. I've opened a ton of resaled stuff on my channel. I've already created this plausible deniability. So when I do pull it live, everybody's just like, oh, PK pulled this. We know this is not real. This is a big joke he's doing.
Thanks for mailing me the box, PK. I appreciate it. You did a great job on the wrapping here.
Wow.
Looks super legit.
It's got the resealer. I got the resealer right over there, just right there.
Ready to go.
Brazilian fake ring is in that box.
Yeah.
Put it in there.
Mason, what are you doing?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
Fair enough.
I have it's so not a possibility.
I mean, there's a chance. It's 0.0002 or something, I think.
Well, you have to open packs to have a
He has
chance.
150 boxes, he said, to rip through. That he's
all right, Mason. So that's too hard. Let me give you another scenario.
No, I don't like this one. I know where this is going.
Customer comes in. Customer comes in. They buy a box. They go, Mason, Cardinal Gaming. I'm a fangirl. I've literally watched every one of your videos twice.
Oh.
I want you to open this pack with me. You open that one, I'll open this one. Whatever we pull, it is what it is. And you pull the ring out of that pack. What are you doing?
This is worst. I'd give it to them.
You just give it, all of it.
Sure.
All right.
They bought it. Like what? What do you mean? Like,
you're such a better man than I am.
What you wouldn't be able to, even if you yelled at them, they own it.
If they gave me the pack, I mean, yeah, $2 million will change people's in that moment. I'm just a little more honest of how I would react. I'd be like, hey, I don't need 2 million, but I kind of opened it. My fingers were the magic, so it definitely wasn't in here before I opened the pack. So I don't know. It's an impossible question to answer for sure, but.
Well, it's like that giveaway that what was the Backyard Breaks did.
Man,
they said we're doing a giveaway now, and then they opened like a $40,000
some logo man or something. I can't even remember what it was. Yeah, they're like, just kidding. Like,
nope, not giving that one away.
Damn.
DNA. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, one thing you could do, Mason, is you could say, okay, if in 1 week my channel has 1 million subscribers, I will be giving away this ring to one of
Dude, you would have 5 million the next day.
And honestly, every YouTube channel would cover it. So you would be probably the quickest growing YouTube channel ever in the history of YouTube, because all of the big streamers, like all of the big people who follow all this stuff, would definitely make videos on it, and it would just blow up everywhere. And everyone would subscribe. Who wouldn't subscribe to that? For a free chance.
Jake almost said, even I would subscribe to your channel. Yeah. That's how you know it'd be.
I'm already subscribed. I never subscribe for giveaways, but of course I would subscribe for that giveaway.
Well, that plus largest lottery.
You got a comment
$5. $5. Anyone can enter and just run a full randomizer, the biggest wheel ever. You will make well over 2 million, without question. That would be amazing. Just like, guys, we're doing this.
Basically, you've just decided in that scenario to become the magic company and then resell the ring like they sold it.
All right.
You can make the same amount of money on the ring than the magic company made.
Hold on. Jake, I got this for you. Ready? So you do it as a members only giveaway. So people are members to your YouTube channel. So you get the $5, and then you just pray to God that 10 or 20% of all the people just forget that they subscribe to your channel, and it just hits their credit card payment for the next 6 years, and you just live off that money too.
a members only giveaway.
Yeah, members only giveaway, and then it's just this
My
big ass
friend
email.
who's a member who's gonna win.
It just breaks. I just love like we're all scheming ways to paywall the maximum amount of money to pull out of this. But we're collectors. No.
Yeah,
Well,
that would be sold immediately for me. Like, you know, the other rings, like depending on how much they're going for, they are really cool. But I've heard stuff like 13,000, 10,000, 5,000.
There was a confirmed sale for 13 for one
I
of
think
the
it was
soul
the
rings,
number
I think.
one though. Of the
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was the.
I didn't look at the number.
Yeah, which is like, so who knows how much more someone's willing to pay? Because I mean, that is the eBay one of one. But in this case, it's actually pretty cool to have the first one out of 300 or 900. Pretty, you know, that's pretty tough to get, and I like the arts of those a lot. So
see, that's the thing is it's stuff like that where I don't see the box dropping below MSRP only because there's still so much value in those cards that are. I mean, granted, 13,000. It's the first sale. It's not going to continue like constantly, I wouldn't imagine. But like once you start seeing like PSA 10s, maybe black labels, I don't really know what the quality of these are. I mean, I could see people definitely seeing like good enough EV to justify $350, $400 a box, at least for a little bit. I mean, I don't know how high it's going to get. If the ring isn't pulled in like 4 months, like what do these boxes hit at that point? I mean, it's got to be just an astronomical amount. And it's probably PK holding onto the ring and just selling boxes into the market. But still, if people like are optimistic and just say, hey, it's still out there, like, I mean, I could see those definitely going up quite a bit. But
there's not a lot of boxes left out there. I mean, that stores have. I'll be completely honest with you. Like, this supply is dwindling very quickly.
I wonder how many are being open though, or how many other people are waiting, like to see. Or it could be pulled already. I mean, we have no idea.
I went to check and see. Like, I had bought a serialized human ring of the soul ring. I went to go see like how many more had been pulled, and mine was bought today. So somebody paid $2,000 for my soul ring. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Wait, sorry. You pulled the serialized one, Mason?
I bought one the other night from somebody that had pulled it.
And
it was on TCG Player. And I went to go see how many more was added to that, and I didn't see mine, and I was like, oh, it's sold. So
nice.
Yeah, I think when you've got like multiple like 4-figure cards available in there, I mean, I don't know. I can imagine like the box being that. I mean, there's Dragon Ball boxes right now. They had a collector's booster that like consistently right now is selling at $650, $670, and they don't have serialized cards in there. They have a Ghost Rare Goku, which sells for a decent amount, but like those boxes really don't sell under 600 from what I've seen, at least recently.
So my honest like market analysis of something like this is that clearly this $2 million, you know, bounty is holding up the whole thing. That I don't think these prices would be anywhere near if it wasn't for that bounty, in my personal opinion. 2, I would say though that the it's a phenomenal concept, and that if the concept wasn't this good, it's not just the serialized that's doing it. It's the fact
Lord of the Rings, the IP.
Rings, yeah. It's the beauty of the cards, and it's that the rings represent like greed, and there are only so many of them, and their power, and it's that like that. It's very different than hunting other serialized stuff. And then 3, it's targeting a group of people and collectors who are not used to serialized stuff, and who are responding to this serialized stuff as super special, instead of people coming from the sports world, the Star Wars world, the Marvel world, who have tons of serialized like rare stuff already. And so like it's that combination of factors that this is like so special and is like causing these types of high prices. It's really extremely well done by Magic and their branding team. I mean, this is like the best thing they've ever done, like in an extremely long time, as far as like a marketing, like money making thing. I mean, it's like really well done. Honestly, I'm surprised how cheap the boxes are compared to like if the normal ones are going for $350, which I thought was high, because I thought I saw some go like get down to 200 or, you know, for a while, or 250 for collectors boxes, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think I've seen a
they were probably pre-ordering for that.
Under 325. I think 325 was the cheapest I saw one for pre-order.
No, not for this set. I mean for any Magic set.
Oh, yeah.
My point is, like, the adventure, like the Dungeons and Dragons one probably got down to like 180, 170 even. I was saying it like that was probably the worst one, or one of the worst ones. So like obviously even this being at 350 is like way higher than that, and this being at 450 is like considerably higher. But it's such a cool product. Like bravo to those who like came up with the idea and designed the art. Super smart.
Yeah. Do you guys know how they chose the how many of the serial cards there are?
Isn't it based on the lore or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
The rings of powers that was in the books. Like humans got 9 rings, so there's 9 out of 900.
Yeah.
The elves got 3, so it's out of 300.
Yeah.
I thought they just thought this all the way through, like super home run.
It's really cool.
Well, so yes, still a maybe. I'll throw it up in the air. It's possible.
Still a maybe.
We'll see. I'm not gonna rip it now.
I need
Let's
to
open up a
this.
couple packs, and then we'll get you to open up them all.
You guys are such enablers.
Rip.
I just sold the weakest serialized one for
Degenerate
$2,000.
gamblers,
Come on, let's go. The clock
All
is
right.
ticking.
All right, I'll bust it open here in a minute. Let's talk about this last subject. All right, that's how we'll do it. We'll end the stream by opening some packs. I don't know if I'll open them all, but I'll open at least a few. I'll open one for each of you. How's that? At least. Not that you get to keep it if it's the ring, but you can have the bulk if you want.
No, that's not legally binding.
So, kind of final thing before we open Lord of the Rings, which I've just been bullied into. Let's talk about CGC. I wanted to save it to last. We've had some good positive conversations. We may still have some positive in this. I'm not really sure. But CGC has completely changed everything they're doing as a company. And it kind of came out of nowhere. I know that some people knew prior to the official announcement and things like that. But PK, I do want to hear your opinion on it. I know that you've got some good takes. I just watched your video that you released a couple days ago. But I'm curious, Jake, on your end, because I know that you've commented a little bit in Discord, but you haven't had a video in a while. So I'm curious, thoughts generally on this being a benefit to grading? Does this keep them in the play as far as competition with Beckett and PSA? Is this a detriment to them? What are your thoughts on the decisions that have been made, with their grading scale, changing labels, not having congruency with like the other products they grade? I mean, kind of all the above, I guess. Those are auto 9.5s now.
I talk I give one sentence per pack at this point.
He's not joking. He just stares constantly. Just slowly puts rings on his fingers.
One take per pack. One take per pack.
One take. Okay. All right. I'll take that.
Are you asking me or Mason or whoever wants to say it?
I was asking you actually.
Specifically.
Because I've Mason, we've talked a little bit about it, but I know he's not as involved in the grading side of that. Obviously, I still want to hear his opinion on it. PK has been extremely vocal, and I haven't heard anything from you on it. So I wanted to start with you first, just to kind of get a good foundation for us.
I assume PK is pro.
Oh, he's all in.
Who else has framed CGC slabs? This guy.
It's true.
Literally no one. Not 8.5s at least.
So I think that it's smart from a business perspective to rip the Band-Aid off with decisions. I have no idea how long it took them to make this decision. Is this in the long run of CGC, if this is effective, and the company is actually successful and remains relevant, no one will remember this and care about this, in my opinion. Now, how long is a long run? I don't really know. How much will this make people anxious in the short run of trusting this company that sort of continues to shift things and change things around? I also don't know. I think some degree of that. I do think it in some way potentially, it has already rewarded people who graded quite a bit and got a lot of 9.5s or bought a lot of 9.5s, because those immediately went up in value, at least for those who actually sold them online. And put them online sort of the next day and tried to sell them. So those people made some money off of those 9.5s. I don't know how it's going to affect the 10 value in the long run. I think the people who are buying those 9.5s thinking they're going to like get the automatic regrade to a 10 and that's going to bump it up a lot in value. I'm not sure how sound that logic is, given that they are 10s, 9.5s are 10s. They're the exact same thing. And everyone knows now you just have to pay $5 to move it over. So those who got on and bought them before people sort of realized that or changed the prices or whatever, certainly, are probably going to make some money in that flip. I also worry, like, once they're actually 10s and now no flippage or money is to be made on it, what will the value, will people even care? Like, how will those new 10s actually sell? That's an interesting thing. We're going to have to wait to see what's going to happen. As far as, like, is it going to benefit CGC in the long run? I think it's a little strange that they're, like, keeping the 9.5. They're doing this, but then keeping the 9.5 and setting the 9.5 to just, like, a different, like, when I first heard about this, I thought they were just getting rid of, like, 9.5s and 8.5. Like, my assumption was they're getting rid of all of that, and they're just going to have, like, I don't remember their names, but, like, they're going to have, like, one perfect 10, or they're going to have one, like, higher degree 10 and then 1 10 and then just, like, full grades. And I was like, that's fine. Like, that seems fine. The reason that PSA 10s are so valuable is because PSA is the most popular company where most people collect and most people want a uniformed collection. And because a PSA 10 is as high as you can get in their scale. If you have higher possibilities, it doesn't matter if you make it a 10 or an 11 or a 15 or a 25. People want the best thing that you possibly can get. If you ever have something that's better, even if it's a really low percentage, it will hurt the value of all the other things, whether you call it a 9.5, an 8.5, a 9, a 10, whatever you do. So I think that they are overthinking this a little bit in some ways, and maybe it's a little simpler. Yeah, it's a little bit strange that they're keeping the subgrades with all of this, and then their whole thing about, like, how they are charging $15 for subgrades but nobody in the market wants subgrades. It's like, people love subgrades. Almost everyone gets subgrades at Beckett because they're $2. And the reason people aren't buying them at CGC is because they're $10 or $15 or whatever they were.
15. Yeah.
It's not because people don't like subgrades. So the reason people went to CGC initially is because they were harder graders. So people felt like that maybe they were going to be tougher, and people were frustrated with the 10s in PSA. They wanted the subgrades. They wanted a sort of a sleeker kind of case, like, but with a Beckett style grading system with subgrades. Now they've gotten rid of the subgrades, so I'm not. So they're not now. They are not competing in that market anymore, and which I think could be a mistake. And then now they're going to the PSA grading scale, but they're not really, because they still have the 9.5s and they still have these other 10. I'm just not really. I'm confused, honestly. I'm kind of confused.
So no, I think those are all valid points. And PK, I know you're, like, itching to jump in on this a little bit and add more to it, especially on the 9.5, like we talked about a little bit.
PK said his piece
he
already.
did.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's
Well,
out there.
I apologize. I have to go. I have to run for just a second. Plug my computer in.
No, you're all good. Go for it. My take on this, I think this is one of the probably worst business decisions I think I've ever seen a company in this space do. I think it screams desperation, because they have slowly been, it seems like, losing market share, because, one, there's no real innovation in what they're doing with this. My biggest concerns is kind of alluding to what Jake said as well, is you're getting rid of subgrades, but you're keeping a 0.5 grade. So you're trying to mimic PSA, and it really seems like that's literally what they're trying to do, is copy and paste PSA with different colors this time. And it's like, you still kept a 9.5, which is very confusing. You've told people that have, I think it's perfect 10s. I get confused sometimes on the pristine and perfect, but the perfect 10s they already graded in the blue label. Don't reholder those, because we're not going to honor it. You're just going to have to keep those. You already have your perfect grade. Again, it's so incongruent to have, and I remember the picture they posted of their black label cards, or white and black label cards, with their graded video games, graded comics with blue labels. It just seems like such a cash grab and a pay to play to get 10s upgraded without keeping a collector in mind. And PK, I know in your video, I actually watched it almost all the way through twice. It was just like, one of the things you brought up was people having, like, there's big CGC fans who loved the blue labels, and as we've all talked about in lives before, is we usually like congruency in our slabs, like the color, the size, we want them to stack, etc. I've even said in previous lives, I didn't like buying CGC slabs because they didn't stack perfectly with my PSA slab. So I'm like, I like that congruency of having something like seamless.
Who liked the blue labels? Who liked the blue labels? Who did it?
I wasn't.
Nobody likes the blue labels.
I wasn't a huge fan, to be honest, but it was also like its own thing. Like I don't have to be like a huge proponent, lover of CGC to acknowledge the fact that like they had something different. The color scheme worked. You got the red team, you got the blue team. Like that's pretty much what it was. And it's like all people really wanted, from my experience of talking to people who collected CGC and just in general, kind of the market mentality from what I understood it to be, was we want cheaper subgrades and we want to differentiate a perfect 10. It seemed like they were getting pretty good momentum. I mean, 9.5s were actually selling pretty well. I mean, mainly because I think a lot of people would crack them and send them to PSA. So it kind of kept that value and they were playing off of PSA. And it seems like now they're trying to just copy Beckett and also PSA and also change it. It's so many changes in such a short period of time. And I think people paying $5 to automatically upgrade 9.5s to 10s for $5 is like ridiculous. I think that's so insane for them to just be like, pay $5 and you're automatically a 10. Like, if you're going to charge $15 for subgrades, obviously there's something different you're doing in the grading process. And I think we've all talked about this. It's like, what are the grading standards when you grade with subgrades, without subgrades? Why is there such a huge price difference? It's really just ink. You should be grading the same way, except, maybe adding a little bit more time. But it just seems crazy to me that they're going to say all 9.5s are 100% gem mint. We are 100% right on this. And no matter when, if it was before we changed the grading standards or after we changed the grading standards initially, they're all gem mint. I think it's ridiculous. And I think if I was a CGC collector, and that's really, I went all in on that when they really started getting, garnering some market share, I'd be super pissed off right now. And I'd probably never grade with them again. Again, just my take. I think that they are going to feel a lot of heat from this. I think they're not going to see a lot of people buying their annual membership fee, because I don't think people even give a shit about their benefits at this point. I think that they're going to see a lot less people grading with them. I think they're going to see a lot less return customers, and I think they're really going to suffer, and they're probably going to retroactively change some of this. Beckett at least did it before they launched. They heard the feedback and were like, whoa, just kidding. It was April 3rd or whatever, but we're going to call it April Fool's. I think that CGC is going to have to pull back on this, because if they go in all guns blazing and commit to this, I think they're going to run into a ton of financial issues in the next 6 months to a year.
I think what they're banking on is that most of the people are just like casual collectors who will see a 10 and just like it. And
I think that's calling everyone in the market who's been a fan of them, telling them they don't care about them and all they want is new blood in this. And they're not appreciating the people who have made their business what it is today. And I think that's, you lose that foundation, that's not sustainable even remotely.
I'm just not sure that, I'm not sure that bet is going to end up being right. Like I don't know. I certainly tend to believe that companies know better than armchair people like us, like who don't really know the ins and outs of the conversations. Like, you want to believe that these huge companies who hire people to do market research, who hire teams and who are super engaged, and they know the ins and outs, that they know what they're doing, right, Peek? But yes, I agree with you. From the outside looking in and being a passionate, collectors and engagers of this hobby, like you and I agree with a lot of your takes, and a lot of that sentiment. I guess that there's always that sort of question of like, how much do people really care at the end of the day, particularly for the lower end, stuff. And will they see the 10, like the 10, but they left the 9.5. I just don't get it. That's the part.
It's confusing to people who are even engaged in the hobby. That's the other thing. It's like a new person coming in. Okay, I can get a 9.5. I can get this 10, but what's this other 10 over here? How do I get that?
Yeah,
How do they get a 0.5? And it's like,
it's too complicated for me.
It's annoying. And you know what that complication means? That you're not going to give them your money, because you're like, I don't really know what I'm getting here. And it requires me. If they were the biggest person in the market, they had the most market share, whatever, they can do what they want. They may lose a little bit, but they'll still be on top. They'll still have people, like PSA. If they just decided to change something, they're going to go, okay, we have the majority of the market. People are still going to grade with us, whatever. CGC is not that. They're not like, and it makes me think, like, with this merger with CSG, it's like, was this like part of the contractual agreement? They had to keep some of that branding with this, which is why they changed it. So the only benefit of the doubt I can give them is if this was just part of the contract negotiation that they had to implement in some certain way. It's very hard for me to believe, and I've seen Matt Quinn talk about, his stuff, and I've seen these guys, like, they seem like general, like, engaged people in the hobby, but I just don't see like them making these calls unless somebody mandated it or required it, or it was part of the transaction. That's as far as I can really think into it, because other than that, I'm just like, this is so annoying, and it doesn't make sense to me even remotely.
I think that's an interesting idea that you just mentioned there, and that there might be something behind the scenes in some sort of agreement. Yeah, I've met Matt like a couple times. He seems like a great guy, had really nice conversations with him. He seems super interested in like my opinions and like other collectors' opinions, and was like super interested in like getting connected to like experts in like the DBZ score, like any sort of niche for what they might start grading, and like bringing those people on. Like, but again, that's what I look for. Mm-hmm. Does the average person who's buying 50, who's, ultra modern stuff, really care that they have like the right expert working there to grade this like niche thing the correct way that I want it to be graded? You know what I mean? So it's in the beginning, it was like, we're hiring Charlie Herlocker, or bringing someone like Charlie Herlocker on to like make sure that we're the best company in correctly categorizing like Pokemon errors. Like, right. That's how CGC was like introduced to like how we're going to compete with PSA initially, in sort of like the whatever weird community we're in of like the super engaged, care about that sort of stuff, even know who that is, know what, care about errors, whatever. And, it seemed, but again, their business model is not built around that. Their business model is built around, mass produced modern, as many low dollar, $10 to $20 to $30 cards as possible.
And it's a volume based business. That makes sense. Right. But like, when you have it, like, they do really, really well at comic book grading. They've really made a big impact in the video game grading side of things.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's almost like, it's like a hydra. Like, all these heads are thinking different things, and there's different company visions depending on what segment of the business is there. And it's like, it's just odd to me. Yeah. But
I have to run in a few minutes.
Sure.
I apologize.
Guys, we're 1 of 3 on the ring now, just so you know. So
are we going to open those packs or not? You don't need to. But
no, I was planning on it.
You should.
Mason and PK, while I take the shrink wrap off the box, anything to add on the CGC grading side? Mason, anything on your end specifically? I know, PK, you've done a video on it, so I'm curious, Mason. I know you're not super involved in the grading side, but what are your thoughts from the outside looking in?
I mean, it's like Shasta Cola coming out and saying that they changed their formula up. Like, who cares? Like, I mean, it's realistically like, it's just like, as somebody that like CGC is Shasta Cola, kind of a little bit. No, I mean,
they're more like Dr. Thunder.
They're more like Tab.
When nobody else has them.
Tab is probably a more relatable. Yeah, okay, Tab. Yeah.
Brutal.
I just don't think. Like, I get it. Like, they're putting all the TCGs under one building, so maybe they had to change things to align so they're all on the same page with that kind of stuff, and they had to redo their standards. I don't know how it works, but like, I just how many times can you change your grading formula and change your standards before people just lose just absolute faith in just everything you do? That's my thing. Did they do a $5 additional if you send in all your 8.5s and get it regraded? Did they do that? No, they didn't. Like, how is, like, I don't know. Like, it seems silly. The whole free slab. I don't like it. I don't like the whole thing.
Rich.
Retire.
Where we make money, guys.
We're going to send this ring to you. This is a verbal contract. When he opens this ring, it's going straight to CGC.
It's going straight to Shasta.
You know, CGC has a bounty for it, right? Like $3,000 if you grade with them.
Oh, 3, whoa.
Might as well just burn your money.
I'd rather call Beckett and be like, look, I'll promo this like crazy. I want the auto black label, and you guys better not F around on this. And I bet that would be an open conversation that they would have without question.
But I'm not really going to give my thoughts on CGC. I've already made it. I'm going to save them for my next live I go on, because I got a big rant I want to go on and really just, shit on CGC a little bit more. Cause
you should bring Mason on for the comedy relief.
I mean, I don't have.
I just.
All right.
Yeah.
We're opening now.
Okay. So it's the fourth card or something like that?
I think it's the second.
It's the fourth. Yeah, it's the fourth one from the front.
Okay. All right.
Where the serialized stuff would be.
So let's just pull it in
the
the first pack, because then we have a chance to also pull the other rings from the other packs.
Yeah. Whoa. It fell out, guys. It's here.
Oh no! It's the CGC 8-5 now.
Okay, went off the screen. Went off the screen.
Kill stream.
Classic PK move right there.
Oh, wait,
what is that? What happened?
Oh boy!
What is this?
That's the double-sided one from the back.
PK, did you really
fucked up that pack? My bad.
PK messed up that one.
Just shut up.
Okay.
I don't know, Mason. You tell me if I've got something good here. Ring. Oh.
It's Relentless Bats. It's actually a good card. It's playable.
It's a loser. Throw that pack away. Shred it. Next pack.
Yeah. Like, why are we still going? Like,
one of one or bust. That's just the map ones, right?
Yeah, that's the lions that everybody likes. Yeah,
that's the one you like. Okay.
They're
Are
beautiful.
we Lambo yet? No.
All right.
I hate the virtual background. I'm sorry, guys.
I mean,
I did not expect to be opening cards here.
Okay. Hobbit feet. Okay. Gimli, pretty sick.
Okay.
They are beautiful cards.
Oh, they're fantastic.
They do look really nice.
Oh. Are we done yet?
You put way too many cards in this pack, PK. This was like
seems like a lot.
There's a lot of cards in here.
It's like a lot of cards.
My Chinese pack's got 25 cards. Should I start opening those?
I also was planning on like looking up where the cards were before I started opening this, so I'm solely relying on Mason to tell me.
So you have the double-sided card.
I'll let you know.
You have the double-sided card on one side, and then you want to pull from the other side first, and then it's the fourth card in.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
And then the last card, Mason, will be the other possible like special foil, right?
The surge foils, yes.
Yeah. So those are your two. So the fourth card and the last card will be not the double-sided one. That's you can take that one off first, but but then it's the fourth and the last.
Okay. All right. Guys, we're learning about Magic. Everyone else should be throwing $400 at boxes you don't understand. It's a really good move.
I am gonna buy some tonight. Actually,
Are you?
Go and buy a couple.
All right, Jake. Here's the deal. You're gonna open on your channel live, and I'm gonna be there.
Wow.
And we're gonna split it.
If I open any live, I will definitely bring you on.
Pulled food.
Token.
Ooh,
Food
bread.
token. Very good.
The old bread card.
Into it.
Are you peeking before you put them up here? Like, what is happening?
No, I'm just trying to get them in my hand because I'm doing it on my webcam instead of my card cam.
All right, here we go. 1, 2.
Ring. Oh.
I think this is the third, isn't it?
Scarecrow. Yep.
I don't know.
Bad.
No.
That's not a ring, from what I can tell.
No,
from
that was
I know about
Duraludon.
Dang you guys.
Duraludon. That's
Hey, another map.
You get one in every pack. Yep. That's a cool looking card. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Chad. Also, if the view of this is not great.
Oh, that was a Gemstone Mine. That was a good card, but we passed it. Never mind. Keep going.
Ooh, that's
Elrond, Lord of something.
That's cool.
I like the silhouette cards.
Ooh,
Sauron.
Sauron
Isn't
sick.
Pretty solid. Solid.
There's like
Did we
4
make money?
No, we're down $80 so far.
We've lost money.
Shit. I love how Mason's like, great card. Is it worth anything? No.
I mean, a nickel something, right, Mason? We're down like $79. And
I mean, there's probably like 600 listings on TCG Play right now for the same cards. Yeah, it's probably
get that ring, baby. Get that ring.
That's what we're going for, guys.
Any of the rings. I would take any of them.
I like the human one a lot, even though it's the least rare. It's great looking.
Yeah, I like the elf.
What's it called? What's the human one called?
Desto said, I really want Pete to pull it, dude.
It's a soul ring,
so
is what it is.
Maybe
but
have one good card. It's PC.
Damn.
That's pretty good.
It has a special name, though, right?
Well, Probably, but I can't read it.
All right.
Oh, are they
It's
all like
whatever-
in English or whatever?
Yeah, they're in Elvish and Dwarven.
Or Dwarven? Oh,
Yeah.
Whoops.
no, but probably
Peeking.
probably the human one is written in English now.
No, it's not.
Oh, that's
I don't know. I have no idea what it's written. It must be a language. I don't know, an old language.
a real language.
Mason.
An old one.
He's
What?
like, I'm pretty sure it's written in a language. An old
Well, I don't-
language.
I don't know. Like I'm not a Lord of the Rings guy. I'm probably the
Old
least
Lord
of.
of the Rings. Like,
One of those vintage languages. Hopefully you guys can see these all right.
they're
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's what I'm
I
looking
mean,
at.
it's okay.
That's been Mason's description of like everything I've done. That's cool. Shiny sword, right?
Sting is cool.
Hey Mason, is it worth anything?
No, it is not.
I just love how Mason's tone goes from like optimistic to just like, nah.
Well,
Well, I have
Mason
a lot
has practice trying to
I have a
make
lot of practice.
it feel
Yes.
better in the store, and they say, "Ooh, that's cool." The guy goes, "Isn't this cool?" And Mason goes, "Yeah, that's cool."
Yeah,
Anything? No.
Very playable. It's very playable.
that's always my favorite description. It's playable. Energies are too, but you know.
You could play it in a deck. You should. Build a
Mason,
deck.
will you buy this card? Will the store buy this card for me?
Yes, here's a nickel.
Yes.
Always buying.
All right, should we TCG player these live prices?
I was gonna look. Peak that Sting is it's worth 88 cents.
Let's
So you're
go.
doing it's better than a nickel. You're doing good.
That's with inflation.
That's 88 cents you didn't have before this stream started. So
That's
You had to
true.
use this
He-
sealed box before.
We're slowly making our way.
Okay.
All right, come on, ring after this. Let's go.
Ooh, it was an artifact. It could have
So if it's any ring, is it the fourth card or is it just the one of one? I thought it
just
was
the
one
the
of one
serialized ones. I think the non-serialized ones are
at the end.
at the end with the rest of these guys.
And they're pretty low print, aren't they? Like only like 6,000 or something.
There are 3,000, 9,000. I think it's just multiple
Okay.
of 10.
So I mean, they probably have some value, don't they?
I think the
Few
human
hundred
ones like
bucks.
200 and
They like almost pay for the box. Some of them.
Yeah.
Depending on what you get.
That's what I'm hoping by the end of this, if I can actually pull one. Thank you, chat, for watching this. It's not a super great angle to be opening these cards at, but appreciate you guys watching me lose money. Nesto said, Jake, you look like you just finished salsa lessons. I think your shirt looks nice.
Got the Shabbat dinner look going on.
oh, okay. That's nice. I like it.
All right.
The Friday night.
That's what we want. We want. Why is it doing that? We want a sword full of money out of this.
Yeah, that's a good sign right there. That's
I
a
think
lot.
so.
Of gold.
I
I
think
like
so. That's a lot of gold. All right.
All right, one
Hey,
ring.
the
I
virtual
don't even
background.
want the other ones. I want to skip right past the other ones. One ring.
Yep.
I'm trying to move them quick.
And yep.
Boom.
That's it. No,
We did it.
it was actually the fifth card.
Okay.
How playable am I looking, Mason?
For this pack,
I can't
not
even get
great.
the playable now.
Not great. Not great. Nope. Yeah, that was a rough one.
Ouch. At least I didn't spend 40 on a single pack.
No, that'd be stupid.
Yeah, that'd be the moronic thing to do. What is the box topper I'm looking for? Because it did come with a box topper pack.
You didn't open it?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'm ripping packs, dude. I'm going for the 101. I'm not worried about the box topper until I'm broke and I need it.
How many packs are there?
There
12.
are right now. Yeah, so I've got 4. There's 7 packs left, guys. Let's just break the box.
Oh man, we're a quarter of the way
Let's do
through.
it. Let's do it. We're almost done. It'll be worth it when we're all on the Poke Yacht, calling it a day.
I mean, this channel is about to be closed down, and we're never going to see people.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. That's true. You'll just slowly see my avatar disappear like Thanos.
And
No. God.
I love how we're all acting like it could possibly be there. Like
Of
there's
course
not
it
a
it could. It literally could.
0.402 chance. Let's go.
Logic and gambling do not mix.
Seriously.
You
Although
open
it's
Dragon.
funny,
You open Dragon Ball Super. Like you should be used to being disappointed.
Not having any hits.
Going to the
Last
casino
March
with
of
Dan was hilarious because Dan was constantly talking about like, okay, the optimal play here. And it was like
I
the
100% believe that.
the optimal play would be for us to get up and leave the casino. Like,
Last March of the Ants is a $9 card.
there we go.
That's not bad.
We're doing great.
There we go.
It's probably like a $50 PSA 10, right?
Not exactly what we want.
Oh, we don't. We don't send magic cards to PSA. What are we doing?
What do we send him to?
Beckett.
I hate Beckett though.
I can't. I don't know
I'll
what to tell you.
lose my cards for 8 months and be like, it's coming. It's on its way. And then 3 more months later, it'll show up. All right. Here we go. Maybe that'll be my play if it's the ring. I'm like, oh, there's no ring here. And just make it disappear.
Okay. Dogs. Yep.
And
Waterfall? A bow. We got a bow.
Close. We got a bow.
Shadowfax. That's a cool card.
Okay. Lady sitting, eating.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What's funny is I've never actually opened magic cards before, so it's cool. Weird card.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Is it? Inn of the Prancing Pony?
Sure.
What are we looking at?
What's the card text underneath that?
Land?
Like
I don't
under
know, it says
under the
land.
prancing pony. What does it say?
Oh,
'Cause it's like-
pillar of the Perunes? I think
Oh yeah,
is how you say that word.
you don't want that one. That's a bad one. I thought it was a Horizon Canopy.
Mason
It's
is
not
like the king of building up and just bringing it right back down to reality.
No. Look.
All right, hold on. I threw it on the floor to make sure it was nice and mixed up for us.
Cool.
All right. Is this the pack, guys? Is this where it's
All
going?
right, PK, which pack? This it?
How many packs are left, Peek?
4.
All right, so everybody's got to pick one.
All right,
Oh,
look,
man,
I'm going to count. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So who's taking 1?
All right,
I
so
want
we're-
the last pack. Whatever you open last, that will be mine.
All right, that's the PK pack.
Okay. What do you like, Jake?
I'm going for that middle of the 3.
Okay.
Okay, that's the Jake pack. Mason,
Number 1.
that's. Oops, sorry guys. That's this one.
No, the other one.
This one. Okay.
You said the numbers. Changed it. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm sorry. All right. Let's go.
So which one are you opening?
These are. I'm not to yours yet. I still have 2 packs before I get to
Oh, okay.
yours.
Okay.
We got
Nick, old school Pokemon.
Nick, we're about to pull this ring. We're about to all be millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad Nick could join us. He probably had to reset his YouTube password because it's been so long since he's logged in.
Peek, are you checking for surge foils?
I'm not.
Okay.
Probably not the smartest move, but
You'll look at them later.
Ring. Come on.
Oh, did we miss it already?
how
Damn.
amazing would that be, though? This would be a great last
Smeagol?
conversation we all had.
Was this Mason's pack?
No, this is just another pack.
Okay. We knew that had nothing.
Minus truth.
Ooh.
That looks cool.
It's very shiny.
Yeah,
It's like a ghost rare.
yeah. What's that looking like, Mason?
Got you. Hold on.
What does the special foil pattern even look like? I don't even know.
I
It's
have
not
no
bad.
idea.
Like I said, it kind of looks like the oil slick kind of foiling. It's looks like waves kind of through it. I'm trying to think of like what's comparable to it.
What's
All
the
right, 1 pack, and then we're down to your guys' packs.
What's the pull rate, Mason, of the of that? Do you know in this? Of like pulling one like that.
I know that there's 1 in 4 of that card being that type of foiling. I don't know what it breaks down to.
Sorry, Jake. Somebody said you're streaming from a VCR. That's pretty great.
Yeah, my camera's not even hooked up anymore.
Oh my goodness.
That's pretty awesome. I've just been trying to ignore the chat roast a little bit, but they're getting some funny ones across.
I'm just
All
listening
right.
Mason's cat's meow in the background.
That's my
Not even-
cat. Sorry,
It's not even mine. It's not even
it's
mine.
mine. His name is Leroy Jenkins.
Nice. He's getting excited.
He's
Nice.
pumped. He's like, Dad, what the hell are you doing? I don't know why these
Okay,
won't go in
yep,
focus, guys.
Yep,
What are we
yep,
doing?
yep.
Green
Gotta-
card, that's why.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
What?
So
It's
if you
green.
pull the ring from our pack, do we get a cut before we?
TBD. TBD.
Oh,
Damn it.
jeez.
We're close, guys. We've almost made probably like $10 back, I think, from this. It's pretty
Definitely.
awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, is there any
Uh,
pull rate, like a per box pull rate on anything, Mason? I should be looking for.
No.
All right.
What's the most expensive like
Ooh,
normal?
that was
card?
cool.
Mirkwood Bats.
Mirkwood Bat's cool.
Saruman mini
Saruman.
colors.
Yeah.
That's a cool looking card. I do agree, Jake. These cards do look like fantastic.
They're beautiful. I'm actually gonna complete this set. I'm gonna start. Yeah,
I've got plenty of singles for you if you'd like to buy me out.
I think they're beautiful.
All right, we're going PK pack first.
Thought I was gonna be the last pack. That's okay.
Yeah, I was like,
Or you picked the last pack in the okay, fine.
yeah, he said, I want
We'll
whatever the last one
do-
is.
Whatever the last
Mason,
one-
you chose number 1. So Mason, this
Yes.
is you first.
Perfect.
We'll,
All right,
we'll
let's
do
go.
it in order.
Let's go.
Let's
All right, we're going
Mason.
Mason, Jake,
Are we,
and PK.
before we open, are we actually splitting this box?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
we're just-
I was
No, we're
gonna
hanging
say,
out. Yeah, we're good.
My like offer was legitimate, but
Okay,
I
and-
believe him. I
but
believe
My
him.
clearly-
offer was also legit, so I
it was
just
clearly rejected.
this is when the card gets
Before
pulled.
we
Well,
actually
maybe this is where I should say, like, I should
I
say,
never offered
yeah,
it.
we're definitely splitting this box now that I haven't pulled anything. It's
Yeah, and then
great.
you would have pulled it and been like, and delete video.
Sorry, guys, just fake freeze.
Other than the fancy stuff, we're looking for. There's the One Ring cards that
Okay.
exist.
Hold on.
Uh,
Drew.
Yeah, exactly. There's no.
This
split in
is
the thing.
really good. The only thing splitting is peak.
Hmm.
That's right.
It would be like the movie. Nobody could hold on to it. Be like, my precious, and then like people would be fighting each other.
okay,
for it.
okay. Great, not it.
I'm going to continue to be disappointed every pack we don't pull it, even though
Of
it's
course,
like
it's an incredible.
mathematically impossible, and it's in a.
You'll just believe.
Okay.
You just have to believe.
I believe. Can somebody play the X Files?
I'm still opening like 5 wilderness boxes a night, trying to pull the golden ticket from.
Flame of Anor. Mason.
Looks
So
cool.
you're spending like.
That's a very
$5.
cool- If we can get that in there. I hate that I have to do virtual background.
Borderless.
Don't worry,
Okay.
Peak. When we're over, I can open up a nice pack of Lost Origins for us.
I'll take
That's
it. I'll take it.
$1.74.
$1.74. Okay.
All right. So that was Mason's card. $1.74.
Not great. Yeah.
Not
All right, Jake,
not good. All
your
right.
pack.
All right. Let's
This
do
is
that
from
right.
the biggest Lord of the Rings fan in the stream right now. So it's got to mean something.
the most Gollum like.
He's rubbing his hands while the pack is being opened.
My precious. My precious.
You're dressed a lot nicer than the Gollum I remember.
That's because I haven't gotten the ring yet. I'm the Gollum.
That's true.
Right.
The Gollum looked fine before.
I saw the prequel. All right, here we go.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I hate that.
And?
Okay, maybe it just
And the
Dang.
loser.
he's holding something. He's holding something, right? Is that
Well,
it?
we knew PK would save it for his pack. So
Yeah.
Of course. Well, I mean, he's the one who resealed this anyway,
I
so
retract it, yeah.
he knew. Little bent corner, he could recognize it.
Okay.
And Legolas Master Archer.
all right, how'd I do?
Legolas might be worth something.
Legolas Master.
All right, before he opens this last pack, chat, give us some fires in the chat because this is gonna be it.
Give me some rings. Is there a ring emoji?
Yeah, give him
Oh,
some
probably.
rings.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Let's get some rings in the chat.
Let's get some
Get
rings,
some
in,
rings
the chat
Put the rings in the chat.
because it's probably the only ones that we'll see in the stream.
Let's fucking go.
Last pack magic. Has that ever worked for anybody?
Is there a ring?
I don't see one.
Pokeneer drops on.
Here, God.
He's
Some
proposing to me, but I'll take it.
Oh,
Like,
there's.
wedding rings in the chat.
Wedding rings. In it. So-
I'm gonna put lifesavers instead.
You're gonna put lifesavers.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I need next to a wallet. All right, here we go, guys. This is it.
All right.
Here we go.
All the
Are we
focus,
ready?
all
This is the last
Here it
pack?
is. This
Yeah.
is last pack.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Dun, dun,
We're
dun.
doing well so far. We're doing good so
Yeah.
far.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
And
Ah,
boo.
Well, still
Yeah.
could be serialized. What was that? The Bath Song. Some interesting names of these cards.
Okay. Yeah. More pets. Uh-huh.
And that's it.
Oh.
Something Shield Maiden. Eon
Wow.
Shield Maiden.
You didn't get any of just the one ring?
I haven't seen anybody
Wow.
pull, or I've seen one person pull those. I think those are limited, right?
No.
No, they
there-
have some art that's on there.
Yeah, there's one in the set.
Thanks, P Football Pete.
I think they're worth like, aren't they only worth like $30-$40 though? Just
Yeah.
the regular one
The
ring.
regular, like, non-alt art one, I think. When I looked it up.
It's
You want me
kind
to
of
open my one pack of Lost
I
Origin?
actually like
Well,
the art better. Of
Let's
the
go.
ring.
Let's go, PK.
Let's do it. He's gonna pull. He's gonna pull.
He's gonna pull the chase after all that.
Yeah. What do you
Ah,
It means
it's already a
Jake has to
crappy
rip
code
something.
card.
We go for Giratina.
Uh-huh. Jinx. Bronzor. Phalanx.
Boom.
Stunfisk. Oh, Poliwag. Then Stunfisk. And
Fake package. Got us.
Dan, catch all
Wow.
collectibles.
Wow.
And I knew I shouldn't have bought this pack from Dan. Is that good
Jeez.
though? What's that worth? Check that on TCG Player, Mason.
Is that a 101?
Now that's the new design. That one's worth.
Oh, I've got the old design somewhere.
Bastard.
the old design's worth more.
Yeah. Vintage
do
is,
have the,
is
uh,
always
Just yeah.
Actually, that's
But
true.
you,
The one
modern's
of
the new
one,
thing though, Mason.
one of one Charlie Herlocker. It's ready
There
to
you
go.
okay. Okay.
Beckett will grade it. All right,
We
guys.
gotta-
We bricked a Lord of the Rings box. That was fun. Beyond that, I think everybody's probably.
I wish I had
Done?
one with me. I would open one right now too.
You have so many boxes behind you to open, though.
I know, but none of them are as fun.
For sure.
None of them are as fun. Well,
I'm trying
cool.
what I could open.
You
what's your
could.
box
You could
topper?
open something. Oh yeah, the box topper. Good
What
call.
are we doing?
That probably would have gone in the trash because it's very thin.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm glad that you said.
Please
something.
don't.
What am I chasing?
Again, you can get search foils in there, and you can get I mean, there's a lot of them. There's like
Do
35.
you know the answer, Mason?
Just open the damn pack, and I'll
I'm
tell you.
trying to. I'm always scared of these type of box topper packs. They're so thin. I feel like I'm gonna like rip the card in half.
I could open a high tech Star Wars box. There's like $10,000 autos in it.
Good lord.
I froze,
Sure
so
did.
I didn't catch that.
The EV is so bad though. It's like
Valley of Gorgoroth is the card.
What's the card underneath it? Wasteland?
Yes.
That's pretty good. That's good.
He's built me up again. Is it Wasteland? Yeah. All
I
right.
mean, I knew what it was.
That's true. Have we recouped $5 for a single card out of the box? That's what I'm.
how much do you think you got in that box? Like 150? 120?
I feel like I only got like $30.
I mean, no rings at all. That one was rough.
That hurts.
P football P. Although I didn't search for like the Surge foils, which I guess sell for a decent amount. I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to look for with those. I'll have to look that up and search through these again.
I mean, the box topper is $18.
That's not bad. I'll take that. At least one gets a sleeve. The rest get to stack. What are you opening, Jake? You're looking. You're hunting. PK open Lost Origin.
It's hard to
think-
match like
Kinda.
serialized stuff, you know.
We can open up. We can open up Unleashed, Boundaries Cross, Call Legends, Triumphant. Any of those you want to open?
I'll let you pick. I'm down to watch something get open. I don't care.
I'm down to watch some resealed packs opened.
He just pulls a business card out from everybody.
Yeah.
Boundaries crossed.
I love Boundaries Cross. Boundaries Cross is one of my favorite sets.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll open it up. Boundaries crossed.
Heck yeah.
This is the most questionable thing.
Are you actually opening? Oh, he's actually opening it. Oh god, guys, he's actually doing it.
Jake, this is Bilbo, retired burglar. How terrifying is that art?
Oh man, is this?
That reminds me of that weird Halloween set that you had.
I don't like the way he's showing us these packs. Yeah,
Oh my!
Fusion strike.
Look at this. Look at unbelievable.
What is happening right now?
Listen, I've made it a goal of mine to never open anything on my channel that is actually real.
Yes.
You're not on your channel.
this isn't your
True,
channel.
true. Very true.
He's like, damn it, I forgot. Turn up pixels, Jake, so we can see you.
Yeah, you had me going until I heard how crinkly that wrapper was. I was like, oh, okay.
It's like made of foil. I like seeing the scale now of the shelves. The
I
Jake
know,
is now
it's
standing in front of
kind
him.
of
It shows the magnitude of it shows the magnitude of the collection. Said PK is Sauron confirmed again.
Evolutions.
So on my channel,
But I'm all in.
up,
I'm watching Jake open.
I've opened up
Evolutions.
Dungaroos out of packs. I've opened up Jose Canseco rookies.
Hmm.
Fusion Strike out of Boundaries Crossed. $100 bills. Legit just bills.
$100 bills.
What else have I opened? People got to stop watching me open shit.
Mason, do you keep product at your house, or do you just keep it at the
No.
store?
No.
I don't know. You might keep
I
stuff.
I don't.
You're not one of those guys that sets it back. You're like, charge it to the store. This is mine. I'm gonna hold on to this. You've got your secret stash going.
I have my 3 slabs over here, and look, one of them is a 9.5. I can get it resubbed.
That's an instant stomp. Sorry guys, I'm letting this cat out. People are hearing it now. So, hang on.
Here we go. Yeah, I don't have anything cool sitting around.
Should we open?
No,
Oh god.
definitely not.
Kickstarter
Jimmy.
What is
Definitely
this?
not that.
Dude,
Kickstarter?
rip it. Do it.
Kickstarter?
No,
Do
don't do
it.
it. No,
It dropped so much. It's time to get time to sell the singles, dude.
Only worth
No.
like 3K.
It's all good. We'll pick a pack.
I'd open it.
I got you, Jake.
Do it.
Oh no! Yeah, you got me over there.
I will never forget the PK Dan MetaZoo rant from like a year ago.
I picked them up when they were super cheap. I told everyone.
After everything I've seen you open in the last 10 minutes, I do not trust anything inside of that box.
I don't think
It's just all golden tickets. The
I
only
have
other
behind this
thing-
mag. Have I ever showed you behind this? I have a sealed Duelist magazine. We could go open up the W stamp Pikachu.
Oh wow, that's cool.
The only other thing that I have is a 2007
Oh my goodness! Of course it's Zelda.
2007
course it is.
Zelda booster pack. These are actually like I think the cheapest box listed on eBay is $2,000. And I thought about grading this pack, but this kind sir was nice enough
I was gonna
to
say,
hold
like,
this
that
for
one's
me
pretty-
already. And it's the
Oh,
first time I've opened it out of the plastic.
I got
Damn.
some Pokemon if you want to open these.
Puking.
I kind of want to open this now because it's ruined.
I'll
to,
open these.
You may as
grade.
well, Peek. You may as well open it.
I wanted to grade it because it had Link on the front, which looks super sick.
Yeah.
But then I just took it out of the plastic and I was like, what is this?
Hmm.
He was doing me a favor. All right, let's open some Zelda.
Oh my goodness. These look rough.
What?
These
is
look
this?
awful.
That's a
That kind of looks like a medicine.
Ambrose licking a shoe.
We got the hit. We got the Pikachu one. The Pikachu.
Okay. These are oh my goodness.
And then a little
This-
kid puking into the toilet.
Good lord.
This is what the collectibles market is about. It's opening the most random things of all time. All right, I'm opening the Zelda.
How much is
There's
this
a gold foil. I'll be pumped.
How much is this pack worth?
I don't know really the value of the packs. I got this kind of on a steal.
Jake, we could open up some of this.
The cheapest box.
Hey,
Flintstones.
I remember those actually. I've
Let me get
I've
scissors.
opened those as a kid.
Halle
Actually-
Berry from this movie was all time Halle Berry in this movie.
I think the cheapest box I've seen sell of this is $600, and I think the lowest listed on eBay for a 2007 Interplay is like $2,000. All the gold foil graded ones are listed at $2,000. The cheapest gold foils that are raw are $250. So
Nice.
they're not bad. Well, you say that until I pull a bunch of bulk.
Well,
I just opened 12 packs of bulk, so no worries. I'll just keep it going.
damn.
All right. Let's go, guys. Here we go. All in. We pull a gold foil. I'll be very
What
happy.
what
I doubt it.
what card are we looking for? Or what slot?
Any gold foil. We'll know it when we see it.
Okay.
I don't know how many cards are in this either.
I don't even know what that is, but okay.
Tattoo.
Oh,
shit. What is that? It's not a gold foil. It's a very odd looking card, but whoops, it disappeared. Not even sure what's going on there.
we got
More
Midna.
Zelda tattoos and
Midna. Okay.
weapons and equipment. Nothing.
I mean, it's got the shield on it. That's kind of cool.
All right. I'll do one pack to honor all the opening that you have done.
Thanks.
All right.
The whitening on these is so bad.
We'll do
for
a
pack
pack
rush.
of the DBZ.
We can open up some of this.
So
Spawn.
Michael Jai White. What are you opening, Jake?
So these are the DBZ art box cards that have the gold foils in them.
Oh yeah,
Nice,
those are cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Centering is awful on these, right?
we're hoping to hit a Goku or a Vegeta gold card, and if it's good quality, they can be worth like $500 to $1,000.
You said the centering on
Nice.
these is like awful, right? Am I thinking of the same?
Just awful.
Yeah. I've got like a Krillin and some other ones that DNA gave me.
There's all sorts of problems with these. That's why they're so expensive in the high grade. So the highest Goku I've ever been able to grade is an 8. So not amazing. Let me let's get this pack. It's a little hard to get the cards out. I'm trying not to damage them before I even open the pack. Here we go. Okay. All right, so it'll be this first card. Let's see what we
Here,
get.
I'll let me make you
Hey,
Piccolo.
got
Nice.
Piccolo with the monkey.
There's our hit. So there's our gold pick.
Wait, so you actually hit it?
How's the centering on it? It looks decent from here.
I think a gold is in every pack, isn't it?
Not almost every pack.
I was gonna say it's pretty common, but
Pretty
that
rough.
was cool.
Pretty rough.
Yeah,
It was
but-
hard to see from the glare.
yeah. I mean, it's these are so tough. Like, yeah, it's gonna be like impossible to see super well. There's like some scuffs on it. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Left. The back actually looks really good, and that's very unusual on these.
Huh.
There's like a bunch of fingerprints on it, even though I haven't touched it somehow.
You sure you didn't buy
Right.
this from
Nice.
PK when he was stuffing them back in there?
It's like,
It's like scratches and fingerprints on it all over.
oh, damn.
It is beautiful looking card though. These
No,
are
they look awesome.
gorgeous.
They do look cool.
Yeah, DNA gave me the Krillin, and I can't remember what the other one was, but the centering was literally terrible.
You want to open one of these?
Sure. What are they? Those are the spawn cards?
Yeah. All right, so
Let's
I'll read
go.
the back. Collect randomly inserted limited edition cards, painted cards, one out of 9.
Painted cards?
Action figure cards, 1 out of 18. Todd McFarlane all new art cards, 1 out of 36 packs, and a Todd Chrome card, 1 out of 360 packs.
Wow.
All right.
All right.
I've never opened one of these before. I don't even know what to expect.
At least not twice for him to
Well.
reseal it.
Actually,
they're
that's
really-
actually
They're
pretty
really
sick.
long. Wow.
Yeah, they're so for reference,
What's to say there?
they're
Okay.
much.
Ooh.
Actually, kind of digging these cards. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Okay. Oh, they're sticking. Okay.
Waifu boys, where you at?
Okay.
Oh, that's kind of sick.
Yeah.
I actually like that.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. All right.
Did I hit any of the chases? These packs came out in '95, though.
Mason, I'm going to have Pokemon Classics clip all your OKs and yas and make a rap song out of it. You're like the best hype man.
That's like the hype man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's go.
This is what happens if I try to sleeve this card.
Yeah, I don't know.
PSA 10 below.
I don't know what
the neck.
sizes are or what.
I don't know.
Even if
Big.
you wanted to.
That's a big bitch. This is what it looks like in a card saver.
Nice.
Let me get it.
So it looks
Almost
like
safe.
PSA 8s of this Piccolo are going for like $50.
It's not bad. I don't know how the fingerprints will do, but
Yeah, I could get them off. This would have a chance at a 9.
You said the back was clean, so yeah, it's
Yeah,
Not bad.
probably.
PK looking for the next fake box.
yeah. I don't know what.
He's like, what have I wrapped? Yeah. What would be great is if he forgot what's real and what's not. He holds on to a box.
What is this?
Hold on.
Can we get some Batman the
I
animated?
have
series?
100 of these.
What is that?
Hunger
Oh my
Game
God.
cards. I'll open some Hunger Game cards.
The one of one Jennifer Lawrence is waiting for us.
Hey,
People are
Where's the
always
Bat-
like, how do
where's
you
the
make money
Batman
in
cards?
Pokemon? It's like, well, you just buy everything and hope one of them goes up.
right.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, look at that.
What's the chase?
What did it even say? Oh, look. I think I hit the chase. The old Katniss Everdeen, first
Oh,
pack.
I mean, there you go.
The Reaping.
That one's probably not one of the chases. The Reaping.
The reaping, not popular.
Gale Hawthorne.
Okay, that's not even
Okay,
anything.
that's a good one. That's just Hunger Games. That's like the Hunger Games.
That one's
Yeah.
backwards in the pack.
Wait, is this the
Oh,
same card?
autograph?
Wait,
Oh,
okay.
Oh,
If that was a Katniss Everdeen, if that was an autograph, that would be insane.
What is this?
Are there any autos in here? There are, right? I've never seen one of these.
I mean, I got 100 packs we could search through.
I tried to find an auto of what's the actress's name? I'm blanking on her
Jennifer
name.
Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence, yeah.
She was just on Hot Ones. If anybody watches that, it's pretty great. She like dies at the bomb.
I did just get this guy.
Oh,
Signed.
Darth Maul. Sweet.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
For your Darth Maul fans out there. This
Who
the
isn't a Darth Maul fan?
gold out of 5.
Ooh.
Oh God, yeah, sick.
I love the I really like this design from this year, and they're all on card, which is cool. But yeah, Ray Park is cool. He's like a big stunt guy who's the guy who played Darth Maul in the movies.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
he
I've
does
seen him
shows
like.
and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I've seen him like do like, I don't know, like flips and stuff with a double-bladed lightsaber for like fun.
Yeah.
Well, cool guys. Well, I know everybody was probably about to jump anyway. Thank you for opening stuff. Random
I probably went from a
TCGs.
$250 or
Yeah,
$450
it's a
box
steep,
to this
a
shit.
steep.
Ooh, there you go. Some Dragon Vault.
I
Love
love
it.
Dragon Ball. I love the holos in Dragon Ball.
I'm not showing the grade though, so that's always a
I saw an 8. I thought
that's always a danger.
Oh,
bust, crack it.
hey, Deluge Blastoise, very playable card. Very playable.
That's the phrase that haunts me from Mason.
It literally is.
9.
A Patsurishu. 9.
Hell yeah. Come on, Venusaur Pop Series. Who doesn't love the Pop Series?
I do love that. I love that one too. Yeah.
What is that? Pop 2? I couldn't say.
Yeah,
Pop-
Pop 2.
Pop 2, yeah.
I love how he builds it up and shows like no grade, and then it's an 8 every time.
Yeah, but this one.
Oh,
Steve,
yeah.
what are we doing?
Hidden Legends.
Yeah,
Jirachi.
it's a great one.
I'm just laughing at the consistency of 8s that we're getting.
Hold
on
on,
this
Jake.
page.
I like that Jirachi.
There's a bunch of 8s, and this is my 8 stack.
What is
PK's gonna pull out 100 packs of like Rugrats or something here in a minute.
There we go.
Wow. There you go.
Got the reverse and the
Oh,
regular.
that's what I mean, and in 9s, that's just aggressive.
Oh, yeah. Too aggressive.
Can you
That's
slow
a
down
personal-
over there? Jeez.
That's a personal attack
aggressive.
on my 8. That's a personal attack.
He just one-ups you with the 9s.
Yeah, but do you have this?
NA.
9.
Oh.
But you don't have one of those laying around.
Let's see.
Are we flexing now? This is awesome.
I bet you don't have a Sleepy
Flexing our-
Pika and a
flexing our
PSA 4 lying
$20
around.
PSA 4. Wow.
$20 slab, baby.
Oh yeah, the 4. Hey PK, aren't you gonna bring that up soon?
Oh, yeah. I mentioned it. How many people are in here? I don't know.
53.
Oh, geez, really?
That's what it says.
Watching
Wow.
us open frickin'
That's
Hunger
pretty sick.
Games?
What is that? Donald Duck?
party with party favors. Oh, it's a playing card. Nice.
But Jake, do you have one of these type of playing cards?
I do, unfortunately.
I would love to see the comparison of you two with the most random stuff that you've got graded or laying around.
Dude, my bottom shelf. down
Jake
here-
would win. I'm pretty sure.
My
I believe
bottom
it.
shelf is like a
Random.
PK land. We probably have the same. Like
The PK
all the
man.
random boxes that he's opening up. Like I have like first edition like 24 packs down there. What else do I have?
Do you have Batman the Animated
But
Series?
do you have Feifel Goes West, Jake?
I have a bunch of Batman. I think I have Feifel somewhere.
You have GoldenEye,
I have Aladdin Lion.
GoldenEye would be sick.
the
I'd be
trading
down for
card game.
GoldenEye.
I don't have GoldenEye. I
I
don't
got
have
2 boxes. We
Wow.
can make a trade. I got 2. Hold on.
Wow.
I'll trade you one bleach.
One dead TCG
One Power
for another.
Rangers and one bleach.
This is
for-
turned into a stream like hosted at the morgue. These are like every
There you go,
dead
Jake.
TCG. Oh my!
You guys just don't
That's
get it.
actually cool. That's
I've
actually
got to
cool.
full screen this because this is
By
awesome.
Graffiti. I guess that's a
offensive,
brand.
That's offensive to say that.
What do you mean?
Come on.
Look, I love how like
Cool.
Graffiti could have their own saran wrap, but Japanese booster boxes can't.
No,
like,
can't.
Come on.
Can't afford it. Can't afford it.
But do you have one of these?
What is?
Oh my
Hold
god.
on.
What?
Middle Earth, the
White.
White Hand. What year did this come out?
Middle Earth. This is the original Lord of the Rings cards.
That's a race joke, by the way.
I think they're from, I don't even know, 1990 something.
Luke, you are not alone. Most people do not know any of the things in Jake's
Jake,
card
haven't you
dungeon
talked about these
existed.
cards before? The Looney Tune baseball cards?
Oh, yeah. Shall we open?
I can't open. This is my only box I got.
Yeah, he's got to wait for
Can we demonetize Peek's channel? I got some questionable cards we can open.
Peek's channel has never been monetized.
Oh,
You can't demonetize when you're not monetized.
This is the best one. This is actually worth some money, I think. This is the Michael Jordan Looney Tunes one.
oh my goodness.
That's actually really sick. That probably is worth something.
Peek, we can open one of these packs, but your channel might get kicked off YouTube.
Wow. Does that one have duct tape on it? Or what is that one?
Oh no, it's
Don't ask
the
questions
artist,
you don't
these
wanna
are
know
the
the
artist
answer.
signed cards. It's
Oh,
like,
okay. Okay.
That's the censor tape they have to put on the boxes.
but it's
The beaded curtains.
this one's open. Dude, these are some real questionable cards in here, man.
This reminds me of like some of the Whis cards that I've seen people post, and I'm like, I wouldn't be caught out in public holding these. Like, this makes me nervous.
We
The
got
only thing I've
some Tom and Jerry.
Oh, nice.
Gross. Raw. What?
I,
What
know
about,
it's coming from Mason.
what about Fox Kids?
Oh my goodness. What could even
What?
be in there?
I got an uncut sheet of it. Hold on.
What?
What has this turned into? He has an uncut sheet of Fox Kids. It's like one of one Amanda
Oh my
Bynes.
goodness.
The only thing that I've bought recently that has been shipped as of today is I did buy a sealed first print of the movie Aliens in
Here,
VHS.
So you'll
With the
appreciate this. It's an
watermarks.
uncut sheet of that.
Oh my goodness.
It's got the Bobby's World card on it.
Bobby's World.
Oh, okay, the Spider-Man animated
Spider-Man.
series and the Tick
The Tick.
and X. Okay, so that's cool. That's really cool, actually.
So
I
this
like
is an
that
uncut
one.
sheet of whatever's in this. But I mean, come on, you gotta have the Bobby World rookie card. Who's
I like that Bobby's World.
The Slingshot Spider-Man card is probably my favorite one out of those.
Yeah, this one.
That looks so cool.
This one.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, the first print,
Ooh, I do
Aliens
not have
VHS is
Roger
the only
Rabbit
thing I've
cards.
bought.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I like it.
Should we open some packs?
Let's go.
What's the
Why not,
chase?
guys?
What? Jessica Rabbit, probably? Yeah.
I always love
Probably.
whenever
Sure.
'cause
It's
this has happened a few-
$3 as opposed to
Not you.
This has
You
happened a
just
few
made that.
times on this channel where it's like we'll open dead TCGs, and it's always the funniest thing. It's like, what's the chase? It's like, which one's worth a nickel versus a penny? It's like the best thing.
Yo,
ever.
black labeled that $2,000.
What?
Jessica Rabbit, $2,000.
That is true, actually. The super OG waifu.
All right, I should go because I.
Oh yeah,
Or
We
you
can
know-
go some opening
I
Star
was like,
Wars.
did you have to go? Like,
We can open this one pack, Jake, before you go.
All right, let's do that. That'll be how we finish stream.
Another fake pack.
No, this is real. What year is this?
He sounds so sure as he looks at it too. He's like, "This is
2017.
real."
Oh, it's like dirty.
Nick and I are vending tomorrow early. This was a mistake. Oh, I love these galactic files. These are great. So we're looking for one of these serialized ones, or yeah, or not a.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Huh.
Ooh,
Okay,
That's more
nice.
nice.
Darth Maul.
Okay.
That might be out of 99. Is that out of 99 or no?
Oh, it is serialized.
Wow, really?
Out of 99?
No, 199.
99. Still, that's still a good hit.
Yeah, still. Jeez. That's cool.
Legit.
Wow.
Look at that. We'll sleeve that bad boy.
How's it
And-
look? Whitening or anything? Or is
And
it-
we finally pulled the serialized card tonight.
Yeah.
Jesus,
He made
I
more
know,
than you.
right?
He made more than you.
Actually, guys, everything open on the stream, I automatically have equity in, so just throwing it out there. I'll take my royalty.
You're gonna change the title to be Lord of the Rings opened serialized card pulled, and it's gonna be
Actually, yes, I will definitely make that a short serialized card pull during Lord of the Rings box break, and it's just a Darth Maul 66 out of 199.
oh.
All right, guys. Well, cool. Chat. I can't believe we still have 50 something people in here watching this almost 3 hours later. But Jake, PK, Mason, thank you guys so much for coming on. This is a blast. Boxes were a bust, but conversations were Black Label level. So
Wow.
I appreciate you guys hanging out. And this is fun. I'll be moving in like 3 weeks. So I'm excited to get everything set up. I know this is a beautiful home I'm sitting in right now, but shockingly, it's not real. I'm excited to get the new space up and running. But anything going on, guys? Anything you guys want to talk about? You got up and coming. You said you're vending tomorrow, Jake. Where are you vending?
Yeah, Nick and I are vending it. It's called.
Sounds important.
It's called the Beantown Card Show. So it's one of the card shows that we've been vending together. So if you're in the Boston area, you should come. PK, you're not that far. You should come.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
He sounds really pumped to show.
For me,
Cool, man. See you
Beantown.
tomorrow.
later, Jake.
Town.
For me, for anybody out there watching, I got a big live coming up next week. So Thursday of next week at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, I got Nat Turner, the president and CEO of PSA, coming on my channel.
Nice.
That'll be pretty cool. We'll get to pick his brain, and yeah, we're not going to dance on the grave of CGC. I don't know. Maybe we will, but
I'll be there to witness either way. I'm super excited for that. That's going to be awesome.
that'll be cool. Yeah. So Nat Turner is the CEO of PSA. They also a lot of games, Golden Auctions. He's a big one. That'll be cool.
Bring all your terrible questions for the
Yeah.
live.
Jeez.
Mason, anything going on? Anything that we can buy at Cardinal Gaming that's new? I saw you had hats, I think, right?
No, I'm working on it. It's
Oh, you're working
I'm
on hats. Got it.
Yeah, that's I just got a lot going on all the time. So
When
nothing
can
in
we
particular.
pre 151 from you?
Not until I get numbers. So after we have to get through the Charizard set. Remember, everybody, we have a Charizard set coming up. Did you guys know?
I
It's
thought we were
before
just skipping.
151.
I thought we just told the Pokemon Company pass until
Oh.
the just going straight to 151.
Well, I should probably cut down my numbers then, because oh well.
Well, cool. Well, guys, all these guys' YouTube channels will be in the description. Appreciate everybody, and chat. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging out.
Goodbye. Oh, he just dipped. He's just gone. He's just like, all right, I'm out.
Now it's just us. I think we're still live. This is
We're
fantastic.
still alive and we have
No
control.
way.
We
No
own
way.
We own the channel.